I don't know what's going on with these guys over here making faces. She's doing the same thing she always does. And Druid, what'd you have up? Did you have your mug up?
Always.
Yep.
That's because Shae hides behind her journal.
Welcome back, everybody, to session 53 of DragonMetal Saga. Hi, guys. We got DeMarco in the house. Hello there, sir. Gory Details, welcome in. Appreciate you.
I mean, DeMarco, to answer what you said, how are you first? So technically, you're the first one to say something in chat. I'd been lurking in Stormy's stream for a while.
Thank you for
How
the
many
follow,
years?
Sindri.
How many years? How many points are you? Channel points are you up to now? I told someone the other day you're at 1.5 million, but I might have been underestimating.
Thank you for the
No, I'm
follow,
at 1.5 million.
Okay.
I would be at a lot more if you would stream more often.
What are you talking about? you get channel points as often as I stream, right?
Yeah. But you didn't stream Thursday night, so I missed out on channel points.
Oh, okay. Poor baby. I wasn't feeling well.
See, guys, say thank you for the new follow.
Thank you for the new. Thank you.
What?
Thank you for the follow.
Right.
Oh my gosh! I got to the bonus. Thank you for the follow. Buzzdray. I can't read it from here. Buzzdray 23. That's cool. I like it.
Totally missed it. Sorry.
Yep.
It's okay.
We are non-paying attention streamers.
Yeah, that's all right. So, session 53. Hi, I'm your host, StormyD, a dungeon master and NPC player, as it were. And these are my amazing friends and D&D team right here. They're all streamers. Go check them out. We got. I'm gonna have them introduce themselves and their characters real quick, and we'll go around robin. We'll just we'll just start with the most comfortable looking person over there on the fuzzy shag couch. That's you, BT.
Hi, I'm BT, and I play Sindri, the rock gnome sorcerer. Also
Nice.
actually called BananaTom, but psh.
Can you hear him okay?
You could turn a BT just a little bit.
Okay, I have to be real careful because it might hit the... There we go. Not much, but...
Oh, DeMarco's got 52k channel points.
52,000, that's amazing, Marco. Thank you.
Well, my 1.5 is... My 1.5 was garnered over since Stormy became affiliate.
Yeah. And she rarely uses them, so...
I have 26.85 or 20. Oh my god, 268.5k. Sorry.
Words?
Words.
I mean, in fairness, over the last couple of years, you've been busy. You don't actually catch people's streams that often. Occasionally, you do when you can, and that's understandable because we're both super busy trying to do all the things that we do.
They just keeps leaving her computer on top of a box.
And since she piped up, Druid, go ahead and introduce yourself and your character, please.
Oh, I am Druid IRL, and I play Thyra, daughter of Tyr, descendant of the Valkyrie Guanhavar, Rune Knight fighter and Oath of Justice paladin, wielder of Raven's Edge, member of the Freelancers, the diviner of smites, slayer of demons, eater of meats, destroyer of cisterns, bunker of heads, and demander of sandwiches.
And failer of challenges.
Did you have wearer of yoga pants in there somewhere?
No.
She's gonna add it.
She's gonna add. All right.
I remembered the challenge.
Yes, you did.
As soon as I saw your thumb, I was like, oh yeah!
What was the challenge?
She's supposed to memorize it.
Oh yeah.
For the DM.
I didn't give her a deadline though. I just said
You did
next time.
actually in
Said for next week.
this session last week. You said you wanted her to memorize before next session.
Oh, okay. Well, she's been busy.
Oh, I have to go yell at her.
Oh.
Oh, I have to go yell at her.
Where's she going?
Over here looking at channel how many channel points I have in everybody's streams. I have 368k in Druid's stream. I have 394,000 in BT stream. Let me see how many I have in Fates.
Well, not a whole lot. I said upstream.
Is that going to change anytime soon? Are we going to see you online for a little bit?
Yeah, that'll change. Promise.
No hurry, no pressure. I don't, you just.
No, you're
We
good.
miss
You're
you.
good. Yeah, no, it'll change. Don't worry.
Oh, Faye, new tablet.
Oh, nice.
I got the 10 Ultra.
Ooh, okay.
Right, you're taking too long.
Oh.
Fate, go ahead and do your intro, sir.
Pollywog, we are on episode 53.
53.
Yes, 53.
Yeah.
And I can't see my hand. I'm extirpatefate, can't see my hand either. Hello. And I play Merrik, who is a spell slinger wizard, and this is Echo. He's my little guy. Mm-hmm. He's the
I got you.
bestest of.
Is that Pelican? I can't read it from here
Yeah.
for some reason.
Yeah.
Thank you.
PR11. Oh.
Nice.
Yeah, you got it. You gonna do it? Yeah, there it is. Druid's doing the thing that I normally do.
And
Next.
the lady with the red ears.
And
Least but not
Pollywog,
last.
if you want to catch the other 52 episodes, you can catch them on the YouTube, Spotify, or Amazon Music.
Mm-hmm.
But I am itsStarKitty, and I play Shae, the Grey Elf Ranger, Drake Warden Ranger with a dragoon named Philo.
And if you have a crap ton of extra time and you get sucked into the other 52 episodes of DragonMetal Saga, feel free to check out Isles in the Mist, our previous campaign.
That was my first campaign.
Yes, that was Druid and Fate's. It was Druid and Fate and StarKitty. We didn't have BT at that time, so.
Yeah. It was Druid's first time playing D&D in a proper sense ever, and it was the first time I had played D&D in a couple of years. So
You wouldn't have been able to tell though. They didn't seem like newbies at all. They seemed like long-time vets. They did super good. Super
I've
impressed.
discovered a new problem with these blankets. I'm slowly sliding down the couch.
I had a feeling that might be the case. I can see that. Yep.
I started about here.
and
But
try to end
keep
the
an eye
intro.
on where my head level is from the top of the couch.
That'll be the indicator going BT sit up.
Down
Can you tell them
here.
why I had to ditch for a second?
Oh no, sorry. Druid had to step away because there's a woodpecker that
Likes the side of our house.
likes the side of the house, and I'm not one to enact violence, but that little fucker is gonna get what's coming to him if he doesn't skedaddle. First and foremost, it's gonna be a massive owl, and then it may escalate to more drastic measures,
All
such as streamers. No, I'm just kidding.
You mean it actually stays nearby with how loud Druid is?
I think he's trying to get to her.
Ooh, Pollywog,
If
you're in a
there's that
Strahd
much sound.
campaign. That's nice.
Cool. Congrats. That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm currently in a
What forge
Strahd
barbarian?
campaign.
Yeah, she plays Friday nights over on Jotun Red Wolf's channel, who's a fellow streamer of Stormkeep. She's in their Strahd campaign, and they're pretty far in.
Yeah, although yesterday's episode was very
They lost two characters.
Yeah, we lost two characters.
Two characters
in a fight.
died. So those two players are gonna roll up new characters. Or play new characters.
Spoilers. Because you haven't watched it.
Yeah, but you don't know which characters. Was it my
Spoilers.
character? Was it somebody else's character? You gotta
Wasn't
watch
the
to find
DM.
out.
Just kidding.
Yeah, if Jotun Red Wolf
Alright.
shows up, it'll shout him out properly. I don't have a specific command for him. I have it set into an auto thing when he shows up.
That works too.
That worked. Yeah. So recap of last week's episode. We after many weeks, both literal and in game. Actually, no. In game, it was literally like a week.
Yeah, in game
Yeah.
it was like a few days.
Yeah.
Days.
But
5 days, yeah.
after
Not even a week.
after quite a few weeks of RP in game, all right,
A month and a half.
you know what I'm trying to say. The party members finally got a mission from the combined efforts of the two magic guilds in Presentica, and they. It turns out that it's a really interesting one, an expedition to hunt down a fabled treasure called the Cache of Galadoon. And there's an interesting history and bit of lore behind the Cache of Galadoon that they're hunting for. But they embarked on the journey, on the quest, and world ported to Valion, which is where the mission, the quest is, deep in the heart of not in the heart necessarily, but deep in the outlands and wildlands of Titanhold, the giant kingdom. And this put them in a precarious spot for sure, because they have to be careful not to spark an international war on that planet. And but they're there hunting for this fabled treasure with a combination of an old map that and a journal poem that supposedly will kind of the poem / riddle that sort of should lead the way to find this secret stash. And they after porting in, they avoided a wandering stone giant, and then snuck their way into the forest, and were very good to be slow and clever since they have a ranger. They were able to make their way tracking into the forest, the potential giants in the area, and they came upon an encampment of 4 hill giants, and they cleverly bypassed that combat altogether by literally flying over the giants. Because giants are tall, but even giants that are like 10 to 15 feet tall aren't as tall as 100-foot tall and plus trees. And it was also nighttime, so they were able to basically just overcome the challenge without having to fire a single shot, as it were, or swing a single blade. And they continued on in this method for as long as they could hold out with the spells to make up a ton of distance towards where they were wanting to go. And I believe that I had indicated that by the time you guys stopped, you were, within like a day's walking through the forest of where you think the region is that you need to start searching. And I think that's the gist of it. Did I miss any cool, interesting details?
We sacrificed a group of squirrels.
Oh, yeah. They chatted with some squirrels and talked to them.
Shae chatted with the group of squirrels.
Yeah, Shae chatted with them and convinced them to potentially be a distraction. And
Merrik got his eyesight
and
fixed.
then they just they made a bargain with them that they would find them a new home somewhere else. And there we go. That was they did technically. It wasn't very far from where they were previously, but all right. Well done. And that's the gist of it. So now we're going to do individual recaps. As I like to ask my players what stood out most to their character in the previous session, and we do that randomly, with the exception of Shae, because of a vote of the entire party.
I'd like to
Here we
say
go.
that the next campaign is in the squirrel's point of view, and we're hunting down this party.
Sorry, no.
Turns into that like instant death snail bit, but with squirrels.
Looks like we got Thyra first tonight.
Sleeping boy.
I'm thankful that the surgery went well for Merrik, and now he has this new trinket. I do think it'll be quite useful for many things. I am shocked that none of us thought to fly sooner, considering that most of us know how to fly. And I feel that when Sindri suggests us to fly somewhere, we should just take him up on that offer initially. We'll see.
Swap screen so I know where he is actually.
I am glad to be back out into the field, though. It's nice to do something not for a corporation. Oh, this was another nothing fun.
All right. Next. Merrik.
Why are the lights so bright? It's like the fucking sun in my own house. This thing's fantastic. I feel a little queasy. Or I think I feel queasy because I'm trying to avoid things that are not there, but I might actually take Shae up on that that bit of cloth for that to cover up my eye while I'm at home. Yeah, it'd be interesting, have an eye patch, use the disguise, cover the eye patch, but then remove it. People have no idea what's going on. That would be totally Sindri, not me. I'd probably do it at one point. Anyway, this is quite useful. At the moment, kind of irritating, because as soon as I wake up in the middle of the night, it's like it's daytime again. What? We did find out that Shae has increased her capabilities with magic, and that is fantastic. I love it. I want to study it. I am afraid to know what Echo is going to say. That being said, I'm glad we learned how to fly today. Sometimes you have to overcomplicate it before you can simplify. Such is my life. Anyway, it's nice to still sleep in a bed, not in the dirt. But I am happy to be out in the field again, for sure. Echo enjoys it, don't you, bud? I like to fly. I should go to bed. That's a Merrick's thought right before bed, before he wakes. Yeah. It's like,
Sindri.
I'll do my bit if I get one more. Ta-da! From Fate.
can I do it after? I promise to do it after. Okay.
I wonder if I should have brought Merrick's eye with me. I don't know what use I might have had for it just yet, but you never know when an extra eye could come in handy. You know, you could have it to watch your back. How would I communicate? going too far into this. All this for a practical joke. Anyways, is it a practical joke if you're fucking with somebody's eye? I mean, doesn't need it. Still, it was funny to deal it. Even though we all knew, the moment that disappeared off the table, everyone knew whose pocket it was in. Although they would have been shocked if somebody else had pocketed it. That would have been fucking hilarious. Nugget just randomly drops it on the floor and it rolls under something. It's like, honestly, I don't have it! Kind of glad we didn't fight those giants. Never mind the mission. There's a bit of a size difference here. And I might be good with spells, but... Big chat. Real big chat. Yeah. Fuck them squirrels, though. Well. I wonder what else this mission's gonna bring. Dave, did you have to promise anything to those squirrels?
Mr. Sindri, Shae didn't promise anything. She said she would help them move home, and she did help them move home.
Fair enough.
Is everybody ready?
No. Go.
Dear Journal, it's me, Shae. Journal, Shae got to use her new spells. Shae got to talk to a tree. Strange conversation. Shae thought they were kind of mean, but then again, maybe they didn't understand Shae. Shae can be a little dense sometimes. Oh well, maybe plants will be nicer. Also, Shae can talk to Milo. But only for a short time, because spells have their limits. Milo is just what Shae thought. Very cat-like. Although, voice was very not what Shae was expecting, but still liked it. P.S. Mr. Merrik has a new eye. Not sure what was wrong with the old one, but that's so cool that this can happen. Back on my home planet, when you lost a limb or a body part, it is gone for good. No way of replacing it anyway. Technology here still confuses Shae, but that's cool Mr. Merrik has a new eye. What Mr. Sindri's gonna do with Mr. Merrik's eye? Who knows? P.P.S. On our new mission, Shae got to fly. Well, with the help of Milo, but Shae got to fly. Shae didn't even have to think happy thoughts or anything. Wait, did that moving picture lie to Shae? Shae's been trying to fly for a while, but she seems to fall with style. Even thinking happy thoughts. P.P.P.S. Note to future Shae, look into glasses of the sun for Mr. Merrik and see if they can help with his magic blindness.
I do believe in fairies. I do. I do. I do believe in fairies. I do.
Yup.
You gotta go chase the woodpecker again?
No. Not only is she tiny.
Oh, tiny bladder
Tiny
moment.
bladder. Yeah. So I've been thinking about the whole like eye patch thing, and I had a thought like during the week how funny it would be for Merrik to like throw an eye patch on because of like the blinding light. And like I know you'll get used to it, but plays it up. And then he uses the circlet of disguise to make it look like he's not wearing an eye patch. Because why people question, don't matter. But then when he wants to use the eye, he's literally just doing this. And and nobody knows what's happening. They're like, why does he keep doing this? Yeah, and I thought that'd be pretty funny. And that's totally something that Sindri would do. He'd be like, I'm gonna fuck with people. I'm gonna be doing something tricky, and they won't know. They'll think it's something else. Like, I feel like that's such Sindri energy.
Agreed.
I mean, you could always have the hair that covers it. That way, it makes it look like you're moving the hair out of the way.
I mean, it's true. It's true. I changed my my character in Monster Hunter to look as close to Merrik as I could get. Now complete with one really, really black eyeball with a bright crystal.
I mean, you could keep the circlet of disguise on, just make your hair cover it. That way it just makes it look like you're moving it.
Merrik will probably get bored of that and just be like, I'm just gonna learn how to deal with it. You'll know.
Would you still be able to see through the...
Oh, I could still see, no, it doesn't go through solid objects unless it was magical. Then I could see through it. If it was like an illusion, I could see through it, but it wouldn't be. It's a physical object, which would occlude my vision.
What your circle of disguise means that your eye patch is?
It would make it appear as if it was invisible.
Anyway,
He's not doing that.
this is a conversation Fate and I had the other day.
It is.
All right.
She opened the floor and I spoke.
Are you guys ready to continue on with your adventures?
Yes.
All right,
There's a
here we
shark
go.
dog.
We're gonna go chat dark. Appreciate you guys. We'll see you in a
Shark
bit.
dog. Shark dog.
Okay. So, you all traveled through the night, and refresh my memory. Did we find I think you found a nice, you found a nice spot in a little kind of near a dried
The brew
creek.
needs a wee. I'll be a minute.
Okay.
Fucking dog. I'll pull my phone up so I can hear.
Okay. And you, you found a nice place that's sort of secluded by bushes and trees and a dried up creek with kind of the imagine like that spot where the hobbits were hiding from the Nazgul in the first Lord of the Rings movie, kind of underneath a place where a tree grows up and the roots kind of create a natural sort of little cave with the dirt and stuff. And you guys, it's a little messy, but well, actually, that was where but then you just used your mansion there, so you didn't have to sleep in the dirt. But it was a nice spot that's kind of secluded, and so when you come out, you look around and everything's okay. But I believe that you guys were wanting to, you're still only going to sleep roughly, 8 to 10 hours. So when you come out, it's still going to be light out. So you will, plus you probably want to, well, I don't know, I guess you tell me, were you guys wanting to explore during the day where you can actually see and potentially find what you're looking for better, or what? That's where we'll start. You guys, it's morning, you need to plan, well, when I say morning, you guys would have gone to sleep probably really early in the morning, like 4 or 5, and then slept for 8 hours, so it's going to be like afternoon, so you can choose to do what you're going to do, and there we shall begin.
Quick question though. Where we landed, do we know if it was close to the direction that we were? I don't remember if
So as I explained, it was going to take you probably. Originally, it was going to take you I think, a couple of days, maybe a day and a half to get to the edge of the region where you guys wanted to explore. But because you all spent a lot of time flying, you cut that distance dramatically. So where you guys are parked now, you're maybe a few hours, not even that, like an hour journey through the forest with her help. Under normal circumstances it'd be a couple hours, but because she keeps you guys from being slowed down by the terrain, you can make your way through the forest very quickly. In about an hour, you think you'll be to the edge of the region where you're supposed to start looking in this deep thicket of forest. By the way, did anybody want me to one more time read the lore behind the mission? Anybody in chat or any of you guys?
Yeah.
Go for it.
Do it.
Okay, real quick. So the Cache of Galadoon. Galadoon was a legendary hero from about 200 years ago during the Age of Barbarism. This was long before the loose peace accords that now exist between the giants of Titanhold and the humans of the Undulled Lands, which were negotiated by Arcantian's father, Utranor Pentagon. During the Age of Barbarism, Galadoon and his band of loyal adventurers amassed power and respect amongst the tribes. They became known as the Noble Chancery and had a reputation as defenders of wisdom and justice. He and the Chancery inspired others and sparked the first embers of civilization that would eventually grow into the Pentagoth Kingdom. It was his group that popularized the philosophical religious perspective of the great dragon spirit and the concept of noblesse oblige. However, his tale is also a tragic one. Galadoon was the first person to attempt to negotiate a non-aggression pact with the giants of the time. Unfortunately, the giants he was attempting to parley with were only using the meeting as a pretense to lure him and his group into a trap. During the ensuing battle, Galadoon was struck by the cursed blade of the giant chief, and although he and most of his team were able to fight their way out of the ambush and escape, his best friend Breton, the high priest of the great dragon spirit, was killed. Sadly, he was the only one powerful enough to remove the curse from the dark weapon. On the way back to their secret stronghold in the Grizzledale Forest, Galadoon succumbed to his injuries. The legend tells that the remaining members of the Noble Chancery were so heartbroken at the loss of Galadoon and Breton that they decided to disband the group and retire from adventuring. They buried the bodies in a tomb in their secret fortress and caused the fortress to be swallowed up by time in some powerful unknown druidic ritual. This was for two reasons. One, they simply didn't want the final resting place of their beloved heroic friends to be disturbed. And two, they felt their magical items were too powerful and didn't want them to fall into the wrong hands. And just like his tomb and these items, that's the way the legend remained for some time, buried in ancient history and myth. Recently, however, some excavators working for the Theurge Consortium have uncovered the final resting place of one of those retired members of the Noble Chancery, Jorval Hornsbeak, the Archmage of the group. In his unearthed journals, he confirms the existence of the legendary Cache of Galadoon and a general location where the secret fortress might be found in the Grizzledale Forest. Excuse me. However, the precise details of the location are not perfectly clear, as it seems he had grown senile in his older years. Only a strange and vague poem might reveal the location, but can only be deciphered in context of the area. The poem reads, "Round and round the points you go, but never will you find the home, until first ye understand the source of the flow. Forever lost you will be, until you seek the beginning of the compass you see, delving low into the cavern's darkest deep to find Galadoon in his restful sleep." The good news is that the the good news is the Realmers, that part is, that's what the lore behind the mission, and that's what they're looking for. And what you guys talk about in the morning? How do you want to handle this?
I suggest that we follow Shae.
The boo apparently agrees.
Might as well get some tracking in while we have light. And if we need to travel more, once it hits dark, we can just
Scout and fly. Does anybody have any other suggestions?
I mean, it might not be a bad idea to just, like, at least scout with Echo. See if there's anything that may immediately jump out as something related to points, whether they be a unique grouping of trees, rocks, things of that nature that may indicate a direction to travel towards. That might be a good idea to explore, lack of a better word. And then you, Shae, well, not you, Shae, and then Shae, you can then lead us on foot, or fly, you know, if we just see it.
So, Mr. Merrik, with your new eyeball, does it let you see what was it you were talking about before? Ley lines? Is that the word? That's the word, right? Does it let you see those?
DM, correct me if I'm wrong in my explanation. Maybe not necessarily, unless the magic is strong enough. I might be able to detect that magic because I can see magical things. However, it may be further down that I could see. So perhaps, but not guaranteed. I'd imagine if we get close enough, if it is on something like a ley line, I'd probably be able to suss that out, but I wouldn't count on it specifically. Is that accurate?
Yes. Perfect.
Cool.
Okay, because I was remembering that we were discussing that glow could also mean magic, so maybe your eye would be helpful in finding that.
Very much so. Now, the one thing I don't know is, considering that you can't really see it right now, but okay. There was something in the ethereal realm. Rick is blending the realities. Now, what I don't know is if this ethereal realm that I can also see, don't know how well it mimics where we're going. And I don't know if I can sense ley lines or I can see the ley lines through there because the topography is different, right? It is different in the ethereal plane, right? They're just layered on top of each other. So I could be walking through a wall technically as I'm watching the ethereal plane, but not actually, correct? Or does
kind
it
of,
follow
sort of.
the same-
Okay. The thing is that the ethereal plane is, I think you, at least in this world, I want you to imagine it more like it's a sort of a ghostly duplicate of this world, of the prime material world. So the only thing that would be out of the ordinary would be the stuff that's in the ethereal plane around. But, you know, there's not going to be an ethereal wall that doesn't exist on the prime plane, if that makes sense.
Okay, cool. Well, it's very, very similar, but very different at the same time. So I don't know what I can perceive from the ethereal plane that may be the same on our plane. That makes sense. Some things may be more revealed over there, because they are kind of... It's quite funny, it's like an echo of this world, kind of mimicking home-ish, if you kind of get the lack of foliage on the trees. Anyway, yes, it can be helpful.
So my question,
Yes.
is we're assuming that this flow is a ley line.
Assuming, not necessarily assuming, hypothesizing that it could be. Because flow is very loose. I mean, the wind can flow through your hair, the water can flow through a river, a ley line could flow through the ground. So it could be a lot of things, but given the nature, it would not shock me if it was something on the lines of a ley line or stream of water.
So I imagine of all of us, it would be Shae that would be the best to detect it, considering her magics is more natural in that sense.
I will confidently say that between Shae and myself, I'm sure we could find it.
Then get on with it.
All right, then we're skipping breakfast then.
A quick question.
I imagine this is over breakfast.
I said get on with it, so. Yes, what's up,
Because of
Sindri?
what we sussed out before. If I open the door and you let Echo fly out to do a quick scout to make sure we're okay to come out, if there is something there, we can technically just stay in. We just have to let Echo fly back in.
Yeah. Technically.
I'm just thinking for safety of coming in and out of this place. I'm pretty sure Sindri doesn't say
I mean, yeah, we could try it. But, unfortunately, you're not the one that can open the door. Because I opened the door. So,
We
anyway,
haven't actually tried that yet.
we haven't actually tried that, no. It's the first time out in the field with it.
So far, you're the only
Question. Hang on. Not to like retcon or try to metagame, but I mean, we did have a handful of days where we'd been using the mansion. Would it have been feasible that we would have tried that before we even left? Like, I mean, we did want to be strategic about that.
Depends how stingy
try what?
Eric's been with the handle.
Try sending Echo out the door while still being inside and being able to
No,
proceed.
I don't think you would have. I mean, you didn't
yeah.
think of it, so I don't see why your characters would have thought of it.
Wait. You say that we didn't think of it?
Yeah, no, I'm saying I don't think like your characters have been sort of distracted and stuff. So I could see why your characters might not have thought to try that out ahead of time. And Sindri bringing up the idea in the moment because it makes sense.
But would we? We would have tried for somebody else to open the door, depending on who opened it initially.
Yeah, I think we definitely would have tried like walking in and out with the door, but I don't think we would have done Echo because we were probably more in a.
The Echo thing, I can definitely see we would.
Yeah, okay.
I thought we already worked all that out. Am I wrong?
Just making sure that we're all on the same page.
No, yeah, I'm talking to BT.
Yeah.
BT did.
It was. I thought it was. We could open the door, but the spell ends when the person who first opened it closes it.
Kind of, sort of.
My
I mean,
understanding of how it went.
yeah, like.
So say if Merrik opened it initially, we all piled in. I could then open the door and then close it, and it wouldn't cause the end of the spell.
Right. The person that's holding the artifact is the only one who can, cause it to stop. Other than it's time limit.
Yeah, so whoever has the key, when they exit, everybody exits. Essentially. Yeah, Echo, you down to give it a try? Excellent.
He shrugs.
Alrighty, well. Here you go, Sindri. I don't drop the key at him, but I give him the key.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So you have so you transfer the key to Sindri. He opens the door, and you're sending Echo out, your owl, and you're going to ward
Just
through
open
him.
the door slightly so it's not fully detectable. Well, you can still see it, obviously, but it's less detected than open it fully for a person to come out of it.
All right, so you open it enough to let the owl go through. Do you close it after the owl goes out?
I would keep hold until told otherwise.
Okay, so you leave it cracked open or not?
Cracked open, yes.
So the owl goes out, and you're warding through it, and it's a pretty summer, not summer, like early summer, late spring afternoon here in the forest. And Echo doesn't see anything but, animals, insects, trees. Nothing, like you guys, like I said, you found a decent spot to hide, and it's not like any being that you're aware of can know where your entrance and exit is unless they saw you go in and out of it.
Or just so happened to be right there as we
Be right there when you open the door? Yeah, sure. It's possible.
Yeah.
I mean,
So as soon as Echo's out there and there's this like don't really see anything, Merrik has this panic and then just snaps Echo back. And just pulls him back.
okay.
Yep. This idea is sound. It seemed to work. I don't like it. Considering we're in a dimensional space, I don't really know how far that is away from where we are. And being disconnected from Echo like that, I imagine that will not be fun. So we are not going to do that again.
That's kind of why I left the door open.
I appreciate it. I had a feeling as soon as that door shut, I wouldn't see him again. So, we will not do that again. Please and thank you. And we will find another way to,
You just sent the stealthy one out first.
Thanks for the raid, Bubba. We love you, buddy.
I think I can, with enough time, I can figure something out that will allow us to do what we are trying to do, but not with Echo.
Okay.
Coast is clear, though.
I imagine that the boys are standing by the front door while Shae and Thyra are still sitting at the table eating food.
Sure. They're doing this, yeah.
Shae, did you air fry these potatoes?
Yes, the baking today was air fried. I tried it out. It actually tasted pretty good.
It's quite excellent. I really quite enjoyed the crunch.
And they weren't super greasy either.
It was very good. Good job today. Do you think that
Apparently,
you can sense...
you can air fry the French fries too.
I look forward to that. Do you think that you would be able to sense the ley line?
I could try.
I imagine that it's going to be something similar to when you did your ranger training. Like a sit focus kind of thing.
What are you doing?
Nothing.
Sorry. Couldn't quite hear what you were saying, Druid.
Seriously, the typing was that loud.
Or if it was just that soft.
I imagine that it's going to be very similar to that ranger training exercise where you have to meditate and connect.
I mean, the ranger training said I did have access to a whole bunch more spells, but how Shae gets access to those spells, she doesn't quite yet understand. But Shae is willing to learn.
I know you are. I think we need to save these boys from themselves before they overthink themselves to death.
That's true. Mr. Merrik, did Mr. Merrik take his coffee cup with him?
I'm sure he did.
All right. So you guys have determined that the coast is clear. You still haven't answered my question of what your plan is as far as, are you just going to head out and, I guess you did sort of discuss that. The four of you did, that you're just going to head out and explore during the day until nighttime comes and then decide what to do at that time.
We still have that roughly drawn map, right?
Yeah, but it's sort of a regional map, right? And so you're about an hour from the edge of the, basically it's just a dense forest, and so the area that was drawn is flanked on each side by different things. In the north, there is a mountainous region and giant cities. To the continuing on to the west, there is more giant settlements. To the south, there is basically a prairie, some stream, like a riverland area, a settled riverland area that goes farther south till eventually it reaches the border with the Ungoldlands. And then to the east, which is the way you guys came, obviously, is that henge on the hill. And then further that direction is stuff that doesn't matter. But basically, that's kind of the edges. And I want you all to imagine that once you come to the edge of the center, like the way the map was drawn, it was like he sort of etched out a section within the forest, of the Grizzledale Forest, that was like he sort of etched it out. And so you can, once you come to it, it's sort of a loose kind of oval shape. And you're basically, once you get there in an hour, it'll be the edge of it, and you can decide which way you want to go. And we'll talk about that when it happens. Does that make sense? Okay.
All right. Is everybody ready?
Yes.
Shae is ready to go. All of the snack bags are marked, and we're good.
I love the fact that Shae meal preps before we go out on mission now. And they're fresh meal preps.
Considering the planet that Shae grew up on, she would be very meticulous with food.
Yeah.
Oh, totally. It makes the most sense. And like, I love the fact that like Shae comes from the place where it's scarce and you're the one who's the cook. You're like, I can do all these things. This is wonderful. And I love it. It's so good.
I also love the irony that the baby of the party is the road mom of the party.
She brings the food.
She brings the coffee. That's what matters.
I mean, yeah, Shae's been learning how to cook thanks to the tube you. All those lovely tutorials.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
So you guys emerge from your fancy interdimensional home out into the forest again. As I said before, it's a beautiful edge of summer day and not too hot, not too cold. Some clouds lazily flowing through the sky, blue skies, nice warm weather with a cool breeze, just a little bit of humidity to keep it, not too bad. And you have this dense forest. And what are you gonna do first?
Head the direction we gotta go, right? Shae leading the way.
So
Yes.
what are you gonna do?
Well, Shae's gonna get her bearings and figure out, okay, we're heading towards what on the map again?
You're heading west to the edge of
Okay.
the region you want to go to.
All right. So Shae finds her way west, acclimates herself, and she's like, let's go. Do you want me to roll survival checks?
I don't know, what are you doing? If you're just walking, you don't have to roll a survival check. If you're doing something, then you would probably want to make a roll of some kind.
I mean, it's during the day. Do we want to move sneakily or just normally?
Well,
Definitely want to be cautious.
yeah.
If you go sneakily, it'll take 2 hours to get there. If you go normally, then it'll just take an hour.
Actually, Shae, can you identify what directions the biggins are at? Giants.
Yes, I can.
Okay. So you're gonna have her burn the spell to do that, or are you just gonna have her do a track to see if they've come into this area?
Oh, yeah, I forgot about the giants.
That's why I've been asking. That's why I'm like, okay, what are you guys gonna do?
I'll burn a spell slot to use my primeval awareness.
And that's within 6 mile range?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
From what you can sense, most of the giants that you had sensed before in the nighttime, shortly before you ran into the encampment of giants, have moved off. The hill giant encampment doesn't appear to be there anymore, and of course, anything farther to the east is outside of range now. And the stuff to the north seems to have moved off. There's a little bit to the south, but that's about it. And there doesn't appear to be anything, at least within the 6 mile radius, to the west, the way you're going. And she relay that to everybody?
Yep.
Okay. Sindri?
While she's looking for tracks and such, Sindri wants to try something. Because there's been mention of the magic ley lines and stuff. He wants to try casting Detect Magic, but try and do it through his hands as he touches the floor. He doesn't know if it's going to work, and is willing to burn the spell slot to try it, but rather than...
Well, you
taking
can
10
always
minutes to do it.
cast Detect Magic as a ritual.
Yeah, but I just figured he wants to test it as a quick theory rather than spending 10 minutes ritually casting it.
I mean, it's going to take her 10 minutes to do a little track, so you might as well.
Yeah.
It's up to you. If you
Okay.
want to burn it, you can burn it.
If it's going to take her 10 minutes for doing that, then yeah, I will do it ritually.
Yeah. I'll do
Okay.
the primeval awareness. I'll do.
I just remembered something that you guys had mentioned last week that I totally forgot about, and I guess we all did. I think you all had talked about wanting to use the legend and lore spell again.
Yes,
Oh,
we did.
yeah.
And we
Oh, it
were
would've
supposed to
been-
do it while we're at the house.
Yeah, it would
Yeah.
have been at night. Yeah, it would have been at night.
So,
we didn't.
I'm going to
the
slightly
house spell.
retcon, and you'll find an interesting phenomenon occurs when you're inside your home. Your legend and lore spell fizzles; it does nothing.
There's no side effects for it fizzling against him.
No, it just that evening it burned up the spell slot, but he rested afterwards. So
You know, there's a good chance, Sindri, the reason why that might not have worked is because in the mansion, we are in a different dimension.
We're in a
We're not-
pocket dimension, right?
Yeah, the law is what that room is in that space.
I mean, I can try it once I've just done this. I'm just testing something in a minute, but I'm happy to retry.
Oh, no, that would have been the night. Yeah. So
BT was struggling with talking in the present and the past at the same time.
hey, it's cool, dude. You're new at this, but you're doing great.
all right. Back to
Now.
All right. So we'll say that you guys decide that you're going to do a little bit of searching around, and the next time you make camp, maybe you'll actually camp outside or whatnot, and then maybe you can do the Legend of the Lore spell.
Lunch break.
Right. Something like that. Oh, well,
Yeah,
you can do it that way too if you wanted to. Yeah. All right. So, like I said, between your spidey sense of giants in the area and your tracking, go ahead and roll me a track skill.
Survival. 24.
Your survival confirms what your senses are telling you, that there's no giants, at least within the 6 mile radius, other than to the south, which is nowhere near what you guys are concerned with. So.
According to Shay's ranger intuition, we should be good going west. At least for a certain amount of time. And then Shay will have to do it again.
Well, that's good news at least.
Everybody ready?
Yes.
Right.
Do I detect anything through the detect magic or anything, or does it not work?
No, you don't detect anything. It was a clever try, though.
Like I said, I didn't know if it would do anything because obviously I'm trying to twist how it's used, so
Sure,
figured I'd just
absolutely.
try it.
You know me as a DM, I love player creativity. So
I did that so many times as Lorcris. Like as a player, I know technically the spell doesn't work this way, but thematically it might.
yeah. So
Start heading in the direction.
yeah, you start heading west. You don't get very far, maybe 10 minutes walk, and you come to a small clearing, and you notice that as you come to this clearing, there's a bunch of squirrels wandering around, running around, and they all kind of stop and they run up and stand in front of you. And it's really rather odd and strange. These group of like 12 squirrels, they stop what they're doing in the forest, can congregate together and pool around you, all staring at Shae, chattering.
Shay cast speak with animals.
Whoops, dropped the die, sorry. You can't speak with animals. The little squirrels are like, oh my gosh, that was really crazy. They're just chattering, all talking over each other at the same time, saying the same thing. That they were super grateful you helped us find a new home, and this clearing is awesome. It was really kind of scary the way it worked out because we had to run from those giants, but we've been running a long time, and yeah, this is pretty awesome. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
They leave you little offerings of acorns.
Oh, you guys are so kind.
I reach down and pick up like 3 acorns.
They run off. They scurry off into the forest.
We helped them find a new home. They apparently like this area.
You happen to ask them if they know where a tomb of a, legend is.
No, I didn't ask them.
There's still a couple of squirrels that you can go up to as the spell lasts.
Hello there, little squirrel. Jay has a question for you.
Sure, what can I do for you?
Do you know if there's a dead body anywhere around here?
Well, there was this dead possum. Looked like it was crusty and old.
Oh, I'm sorry. Shae can sometimes be a little misunderstanding. An old, dead humanoid looking body. Maybe like a tomb?
The little squirrel goes, "What's a tomb?"
Shae turns around. Mr. Merrik, they're not going to be able to help.
They might ask them if they can sense the flow of magic in the ground.
Hello there again, little squirrel. Do you know anything about magic?
I'm a squirrel. Do I look like a magic user to you?
At this
But you
very
know what
moment,
magic
Sindri
is?
Side-eyeing Merrik.
I've heard of it. I've heard some of my ancestors have seen humanoid creatures using it, but I have no idea what it is.
Have you seen any humanoids recently using magic?
Now the giants are too stupid for that stuff.
You've seen as giants?
Around here, yeah, you're the first small humanoid peoples ever.
Jay turns around. Mr. Merrik, they're not going to be helpful.
Okay.
Trees.
Sorry.
Jay turns back around. Thank you, little squirrels, for answering my questions. And Shae and my friends intend you like your new home.
Okay, you too. Bye-bye. Runs away first.
Maybe
And
before
you guys-
rest.
Oh, sorry, go ahead, Druid.
Maybe before rest. Shae, do you think you could ask the trees? If they know where the
They
ley
are
line
trees.
is.
No, Shae can try and ask the trees, but the other trees that Shae talked to, they were a little mean. They
I've
kept
heard
saying we are a
stories
tree, and they didn't know much.
In our village, they would always share stories about how the trees can communicate through the wood, through the roots. So I wonder if that's true or not.
I wonder if they'd be more cooperative if Thyra was holding an axe.
I'm not going to intimidate a tree.
Be funny to watch, though.
I mean, Shae can try talking to a tree again. Maybe this tree will be nicer.
At this point, Raven's Edge pipes in and says, "Perhaps it might be a wiser idea for us to find the region of the map that we're looking for before we do that, though."
That's very smart.
I don't disagree. Shae already cast the spell to talk to the squirrels, so I might as well make use of it.
Are there any other animals in the area?
No. I mean, you could use your tracking skill to try and find some, but not like
Sure.
in this clearing.
All been eaten.
That's a 13 for survival.
You find tracks of a mountain lion that was in the area not that long ago.
Ooh, a mountain lion.
It was,
Mountain
I
kitty.
shouldn't say not that long ago. It was a few hours ago.
Oh,
So
okay.
it might take a while to actually find it.
Yeah, the spell only lasts for 10 minutes.
And it tracks off in a direction that it's kind of southeast, which is the opposite of the way you want to go.
Well, we should carry on. We'll ask a tree when we get closer.
How big is this clearing?
It's small.
Like, it'll take how long to cross the clearing?
Walking like 5 minutes.
I don't want to be out in the open. I'm not supposed to be here, remember? Let's hurry.
Right.
And we go. And
You
off
continue
we go.
on.
Yes.
You travel through the forest, do I understand you because you sense that there aren't giants in the area, you're not sneaking, you're going to go at regular travel speed. Okay. After roughly an hour of time, Shae gets her bearings, stops and gets her bearings, and you all kind of think to yourself, well, we might be at the edge of this kind of blob, this center of the area of the map that is outlined. And so you're at an edge. You can basically, you can either go straight, go into the heart of it, you can go over to the left, to the edge of it, onto the left side, which would be south, or to the right side, which would be north. Like, you guys tell me which way you want to search first. It's a big area, probably 4 square miles. No, more than that. More like 12 square miles.
Fucking hell. Dropping shit.
Well, so I think there's a part of me that feels going maybe towards the center of it all, to then branch out from there might not be a bad idea. At the same time, I think we should utilize Echo to see if we can see any landmarks that may stand out or anything that would suggest a direction to go, whether they be accurate or not. A heading is better than none.
Well,
Just
you
a
send out
thought.
Echo. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
If you were going to send out Echo, why don't we all just take flight and move in a direction? Because then we can all see it from up top. Many eyes make light work.
Yes, I don't disagree with you. However, the slight advantage of doing it this way is that if we're not to be seen during the day or at all, 4 or 3 large flying things in the sky would cause a lot of attention. Owl does not. Not to mention, I can actually use this thing and see through this little guy as I point to Echo. So I would also be able to see the magic.
And while you're
Off
out
you go.
scouting, Shae, you could ask.
You'll need to speak up a little bit, Druid. No, it's not the mic. It's just the way you're speaking.
Shae, and if you are wanting to or able, maybe you could ask a tree as well.
Oh yeah.
All right, so you're gonna scout with Echo, and she's gonna talk to a tree.
Yep.
What do you want to do first?
Let's do this. I will. So when I send Echo out, I'm gonna have Echo kind of do that pretty high up to see, right, to try to get as much lay of the land with the least amount of distance away from me, just because of our connection. I know it's like a mile, but still, this is a large area to cover.
Yeah.
So while I'm doing like a decent section of like what's directly like kind of maybe towards the center, just like the biggest like wedge of where we're at, Shae will do the tree thing, and then when we're done doing the tree, we'll come back, because that would be plenty of time for Echo to be out there circling and then come back. So
Okay, all right.
that.
So you're gonna have him go up pretty high and circle around in a mile radius. That will at a certain height in a mile radius around where you're at, he'll be able to see pretty deep into that 12 square mile area. I would say halfway into it at the very least, so he'd get a good bird's eye. I mean, and then like at distance, he'd be able to potentially see anything standing out. So while he's doing that, doing the circle around, you have a chat with. You want to talk to a tree or something else?
Well, it says you imbue plants within 30 feet of you with limited sentience and animation. So figured it would be any tree or plant that I would direct my attention.
Oh, so you're just gonna do it randomly, or do you want to have some forethought? Roll me your nature check. You feel like that the wise call would be to talk to trees again, because you know that trees in their natural environment connect to each other through a root system, whereas bushes and or grass, vines, whatever, aren't necessarily going to be that interconnected throughout vast distances.
Gotcha. So Shae will walk up to the closest tree.
Okay, there's an old oak tree, and not old, but decent sized old oak tree at the there next to you in the forest.
She'll reach out her
Thicker than the other
hand
trees.
and she'll cast Speak with Plants. Hello, tree.
Hello there, humanoid. They are tree.
Ooh. How old are you, tree?
Many, many rotations of the sun. Countless, really.
You're very tall.
They are tree.
So when you say we are a tree, are you connected to lots of other trees?
Of course, we are tree.
Hi, Tree. My name is Shae, and Shae has questions for you. Is that okay?
It's wonderful. I've never talked to a humanoid in my entire life. But I know of friends who supposedly talked to humanoids a long, long time ago.
Ooh. So my friends and I, she points to her friends. We're looking for an old tomb of a humanoid. Do you or any of your other trees know of a tomb? Special tomb in this area?
Can you explain to me what a tomb is?
So a tomb is kind of like a... Jay turns around. Can somebody tell me how to explain a tomb?
A burial resting place for the dead. Don't forget to ask about the ley line.
Okay. A tomb is like a burial resting place for the dead. So sometimes it can be underground, sometimes it can be above ground.
Dead humanoids, Shae.
Oh, yes, we're looking for a humanoid tomb. Thank you, Mr. Sindri.
We tree do not know of this tomb that you speak of.
So Tree, you're very connected to this area and throughout, correct? Do you know anything about ley lines or magic flow in or around you?
Ley line, is that like the natural flow, ebb and flow, the rivers of natural magic that imbue the land with its essence?
Yes, I believe so.
Yes, there is a convergence in this area not far away.
Which direction?
Towards the setting sun.
So he turns around. According to the tree, there is a convergence of ley lines heading towards the setting sun. Not sure how far though.
Merrik, where does the sun set on this world?
In the west.
I can't hear you, remember? I'm an echo.
Yeah.
So you ask the question and this is what you get.
Yeah.
Sindri
No.
forgot, so Sindri's just going to be staring at you for a couple of minutes and then go, "Oh."
I think we all forgot.
Yep.
We all forgot.
I figured I forgot. Sindri might as well forget.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I feel like it would definitely be on point for like having that back and forth to be like, yeah, where does it set?
Well, more often than not as well, whenever you do that, you usually tell Sindri to cover you. But you didn't tell him.
Did it. Mhm.
He's just used to it as a natural thing, like, oh, I'm just going to
Yes.
work, keep an eye out.
So Tree, when was the last time a humanoid has passed through or in your area?
Many cycles of the moon and sun ago.
Oh.
Hundreds.
Oh.
Add a character that would line up with the history of the legend. Because it was 200.
Okay.
It was roughly 200 plus years ago.
Shay turns around. Anybody else have questions for the trees?
Ask
By the way, do you
him-
translate that stuff to them?
Mhm.
Okay.
ask the tree if he remembers when the humanoids did the druid ritual. Out of curiosity.
So you're asking about if there was a
If
druid
they-
ritual performed?
No, if they remember the druid ritual.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
if they
where
remember
that
the
would be.
druid ritual.
Yeah, do you remember the druid ritual and where did they do that? I feel like that's what you're getting at.
You're not there. You hush.
I am clarifying Druid's lack of verbiage.
Okay.
Lack
Yeah.
of words.
Yeah.
Lack of verbiage.
So Shay turns back to the tree.
So Tree, those many moon cycles ago when the humanoids were around here, did they perform any type of druid ritual that you know of?
Druid ritual. Is that like the man that was one with the land?
Yes, did they do anything special?
Yes.
What did they do?
Shay's ready
Hey.
for story time.
They made alterations in the land.
What kind of alterations?
Not sure how to. We tree are not sure how to answer your question. They made alterations to the land.
The tree said somebody made alterations to the land many years ago. Tree, do you know, were those alterations made in the same direction of the ley line?
It says not too far from the. What did I call it?
Convergence?
Yeah,
Convergence.
not too far from the convergence. Somewhere at the edges. But that was a long time ago.
These alterations happened near the convergence. So maybe trees closer to the convergence would have more details.
Excellent. And we have a direction.
Any other questions for the tree?
Sindri knocks on Merrick's arm.
Echo snaps back. Yes. What's wrong?
Do you have any questions for the tree?
What questions have been asked?
Ley lines are that way. There were some people near the ley lines at some point. There was a druidic ritual.
They
That's
made
very vague
alterations to
information.
the land. near the convergence. But
Magical
the tree's not
alterations.
sure what kind of alterations.
Magical alterations?
Correct.
Probably most likely the druids. Ask the tree if in the direction of the ley lines and nearabouts the potential alterations to the land, is there a cave?
A tree?
Or rather, a hole, like a cave or a subterranean hole in the ground?
Tree, would you happen to know if there's any type of cave system or subterranean area near the convergence?
Tree, our roots go deep, but not that deep. We don't know I don't know if there's any empty pockets like what you described. At least not in this area with my hive of trees.
This one doesn't know, but there are no caves or any subterranean places within their tree root area.
No, that's not what he said. He said that their roots don't go deep enough. They don't know if there's anything.
Okay.
Just to be clear.
And their tree roots in this area don't go deep enough to find anything underground.
All right. Now I'm going to describe what Echo saw, what you saw through Echo. You got a bird's eye view of what you think is the section of the forest that the region that you're supposed to explore. To the south, at the very edge of it, he saw a clearing with an old, kind of partially ruined tower. It was a very large tower. The windows were extra large and the doors were extra large from what you could see. You guess that it's probably some old abandoned giant tower. Then kind of towards the center, not exactly the center, more like center east, like between you and that tower. Again, you know, you're viewing it from like it's out this way, right? From above. Over to the left, which is south, is that clearing with the ruined tower. Then there's a hillock between you and that tower, almost to the center of the area. Then to the north and deeper in, right at the edge of of the middle of the area, right at the edge of your vision, you think there's a large clearing that could be a pond or a lake. So those are the three areas effectively that you could potentially go explore. You think, based upon what she was saying, kind of putting two and two together, that the convergence is likely the center of the area. But if it's convergence of ley lines, it could be huge. It could be wide and vast.
And while viewing through Echo, there was nothing that stood out in any arcane element. Like there was no magic to be seen, as I can't see with.
Not from that distance. So the problem is, yes, you can see, but the way I view it is very much like the geometry seeing would be. The extent of your vision only goes out to whatever its normal extent is when you're wearing it. It's the same thing, only out to the extent that Echo is from Echo. So from his point of view, he would just be seeing the sky and the trees and everything.
It's a lot closer. Cool. No worries.
And you share all those details with everybody? Okay.
Yeah. So
Sindri's got his hand up.
I was just going to ask if there was any rivers or anything as well while he was looking.
He couldn't see anything, but it's very thick, tall trees in this forest. So go on.
Okay.
So there is a body of water closer towards the center.
Center north.
A giant.
But yeah.
There is a body of water.
You think?
Seems like. There's also in that direction. There's a giant tower. Now, I mean giant tower as I mean like all the proportions are for like a giant. Doesn't look too habitated at the moment. Not to mention, Shae, you did state that you didn't sense any giants nearby. It might be interesting to check out, but it's not while we're here.
I want to clarify. You didn't see giants, but it doesn't mean you couldn't. Like, you would have had to have him fly over the tower to be able to see if there were giants there. It was far enough away, miles away, that he could just see the tower, but that's about it.
So that would be beyond Shae's 6 mile. The tower when she did it. Because if she said there was nothing within the 6 mile radius, and
from where you're at now, it would be right at the edge of her 6 mile radius. I want you to imagine that the area is a 12-mile radius area, almost like a circle area, right? You're at the edge of that 12-mile radius area, so her radius goes halfway into that 12-mile radius.
Okay.
And so...
just making sure.
Yeah.
Can't quite tell if there's anything over there. Interesting. Want to check it out. That's not why we're here. There is a hillock kind of in between those two things, which there's a chance that it could be where we want to go. And I feel like that's where we should head first. It's a little further in, and then we can then get a bit more of and start looking for more specifics. Does anybody disagree?
I do not. Lead the way.
Excellent. And then for that context of like orienting, like we want to go this way for Shae, like, all right, 1 second. And I'll pop back into Echo with a very clear indication of going up, finding that hillock and going, this is the direction I need to go. And go, it's that way. And then I would imagine, since it's the hillock, though we're going in a straight direction, I know Shae is pretty apt at navigating. Shae, if at any point in time you want me to send Echo back up just to spot check that we are going in the correct direction of what we want to do, let me know. Part of the reason why I say that is, for to believe the poem, there's a good chance that we might get lost in here. So, not to say that you're not capable, but I would imagine there's something else that might be going on, so utilizing your skills with Echo and along the way might not be a bad idea. Doesn't hurt to double check your work, right?
Wouldn't it be cool if there was a moving landscape?
Don't give the forest ideas. Sindri, don't give the forest ideas.
I was just thinking, because druidic magic causing things to shift. Yeah.
Sir.
It'd definitely make an understanding as to why people get lost.
Anyway, you're not wrong. Everybody ready?
Yeah.
Terrifying, but still cool.
All right, Shae.
I am
that
beholden
way.
to you guys to lead the way.
That way.
Cool. You head off to the southwest, towards the hillock, which is kind of juxtapositioned, partially on the way to the tower, you think that based upon his view of it, you think it would take you a couple hours to travel to the hillock. And you think that by that time, it will be kind of dusk. It'll be the sun will be kind of low on the horizon. And so you, but since you all have, I mean, dark vision is great and all, but it's not like perfect vision, right? You can still only see out to 60 feet or 120 in her case. So, but at least with dusk, you can still see of course, the shadows of the trees are going to make it worse. But as you make your way through the forest for 90 minutes, it's uneventful. You pass by small clearings, small creeks, little rock formations, nothing that just, little wadis, more dried creek beds, just all kinds of interesting little things that you would find in your typical forest. But for the most part, it's just thick forest. As you get deeper in, it gets thicker and thicker. And that last 30 minutes of dusk, the sky has kind of got that hazy purple, red, orange, pink glow. But you're starting to even lose that because of the thickness of and tallness of the trees. And it's getting pretty dim and dark, but you press on, and you basically make it to where the hillock is. Just it's not nighttime; it's still dusk, but it's at the apex of dusk, and there you kind of emerge out into large clearing where the hillock starts to rise up, and it's been mostly cleared of trees. There are still lots of stumps around, but you also notice huge stones just kind of scattered all across the hilltop. And
kind of like a henge.
No, a henge would be like a formation of stones, like sticking up or whatever, right? This is more like flat stones laying in different pockets and different areas all over the hill. It's just almost like pock marks on the hill of stones, but they're large, like very large stones, flat stones. In fact, let me see here. History. Anybody who's got history?
I do, and this is my planet.
I've got history, but it's not my planet.
Yeah.
Well, even if it's not your planet, there's potentially some, like she can roll too. What'd you get total?
9.
9. Okay, you got nothing.
19.
19.
Okay. You,
22.
You guys, you just say 2?
22.
22.
I rolled a
22.
20.
All right. So both Merrik and Sindri's eyes kind of go wide, and they look at each other as it kind of dawns on them. By the way, what'd you get?
14.
Okay. You missed the DC by a little bit, but you look at each other with your eyes wide, and as it dawns on you that you think this this hillock is some ancient giant burial ground from long ago, something lost and forgotten in the forest from a long time ago. But your eyes go wide about that because and the reason why Sindri thinks that is because he's seen formations like this. Of course, on his planet, it would have been in a rocky, desertous area, places where there were some rock formations and or oases, which are really rare, but they do exist. And this looks like a place where the giants buried their dead, or at least some faction of the giants from long ago, because the way the growth is, it's overgrown and it's been sort of an area that's lost to the time.
How close are we to one of these stones? Are we near one, or are we still got to trek towards them?
I'm sorry, say again. Hang on a second. Before you say anything, let me actually turn your mic up a tad. I do this with minimal impact.
I can turn mine up.
Yeah, that's good. Oh, actually, that would be helpful if you could just turn it up a tiny, tiny, tiny little bit. Not a whole lot. Just
Is that better?
Huh?
Is that better?
No, that's
It's
worse.
actually backwards.
Yeah.
Okay. I forgot the volume thing has somehow ended up backwards on my mic now.
Oh,
Don't know why. Ever since I moved, it's the opposite way around.
That's
Love that
weird.
for you.
Anyway,
Right, do you
that's
need me
better.
to not
Thank
shit
you.
anymore?
No, this is good.
'Cause I could
In fact,
do the
say
rest
something. I want to
of,
make sure that it's not too loud.
Speaking at a normal volume, speaking, talking.
Good.
So,
You're good.
are we close to one of these things, or is it still a bit of a trek towards one of them? As in,
No, you've
like,
come out into the clearing, and the hillock basically is the centerpiece of this thing. We're talking about, walking across a field, and you're at the edge of the hillock, going up the hillock, covered in
Okay.
all these stones.
Nice.
out of character, I was just thinking of doing the same thing again, using the detect magic put into the ground if we were right next to one.
Sindri, are you thinking what I'm thinking? This
I don't
doesn't
know.
really look.
Because we're from two different places. But
Yeah,
I imagine
exactly.
we are, yes.
Yeah, that's a headstone, huh?
It's definitely looking that way.
And I'd imagine it would make sense considering off in that direction is a big, giant tower.
And also, this is supposedly near a battle. You're not going to move a giant very far to bury it, are you?
So no, to be clear, the legend that I told you guys about, the battle wasn't near here. It was actually far to the north. But they moved on for several days to their secret hideout in this forest. So the battle wasn't. There could have been battles here, but not the battle that you're thinking of. I'll just want to make that clear.
I feel like that was a little farther off, but still, I feel like this is not what we're looking for. But I do feel we might be close. I could
I
feel
definitely feel if we can get closer to that tower without there being any other giant nearby, it might reveal something. But at the same time, it's not our priority, so it's not. It's just if we've got time and it's quiet enough, we should probably check it out.
So you think with
Yeah.
where you're at now, it would only take you're much closer to that tower. So if you had Echo do his thing again before the dying light of the day goes
That's
away,
fair, yeah.
you could probably see what's at the tower a lot better.
I mean, yeah, Echo, yeah, you want?
Okay.
Yeah, we'll send him.
He's all like,
Okey-doke.
woo! So he goes and does his flight, and you work through him. And this time, because you're much closer, you're able to see the other side of the tower, the angle that you couldn't see before. It's much more ruined than you realized. 1/3 of it, one quarter of it is sort of collapsed inward on the opposite angle from where you had been able to see. It's an old ruin from long ago. It doesn't look like it's even usable, let alone in use. But he does notice, oh, well, look at that. That looks like 4 hill giants. The same ones that you guys had
Wait.
had basically bypassed. They apparently have moved to this area, and they use it as their little. You can't hear you can't get close enough to hear what they're saying, but you can spot them.
While I'm still viewing through Echo, everyone just hears Merrik just go, "Oh fuck, really? Oh, damn it!" He's just disappointed. Echo comes back.
Okay.
I don't want to go towards the tower.
Why is that, Mr. Merrik?
Assuming that means giants then.
Not just giants. Not only did the squirrels run off this direction, but so did those giants.
The same fucking giants.
The same fucking giants. So,
I don't want to kill them now.
By all means, I am for it. I just don't. I feel like if they were to disappear out here in the middle of
Burial ground.
I would imagine it wouldn't cause too much of a tussle. However, I don't want to risk that. If we can avoid it, we're avoiding it because it's. I still have a lot of people I care about here, and I just don't want that to happen. So, anyway, we should go towards the body of water, or I think. Can I confirm that's a body of water from Echo of going up to go to the tower? I would be able to ascertain whether that's a body of water. Just
of course, you have him circle around the other direction, and sure enough, it does look like it's a small lake in the distance.
Let's go towards the lake.
You think though that it will take a few hours, a good 3 hours to trek to the edge of it, and by that time it'll be deep into basically the sun will have gone down and it's dark.
Shae, think you can get us there by dark? Or maybe just after?
Oh, yes.
Excellent. We need to go that way.
All right. So you guys head off in the direction of the lake, and
running
while you're
montage.
traveling there, let's see if there's any.
We're gonna do a montage.
It's the trek. You guys kind of you're like, all right, we need to get away from this ancient giant burial ground and the hill giant tower. We're gonna make our way north and west towards this lake that you have found that you could see in the distance, and you make your way those couple of hours directly into the night, and she doesn't get you there by nightfall, but she's able to, with everybody's dark vision and with her skills, I'm gonna have you roll one survival check to make sure that you don't get off track because it is nighttime.
15.
Okay. You end up. She goes off on a bit of a circuitous route, but they get you back on track, and it wastes a little bit of time, and so you're effectively there 3 hours later instead of 2 hours later, and it's roughly, late enough into the evening time that it's dark out. Luckily, it's a clear sky with almost no clouds, and the stars are shining, and there's a half moon. And just as you're getting tired enough that you're about to call it a day, or I guess that's not true because you guys are trained, and you only started this trek in the afternoon, so it would still be the middle of the day to you, body clockwise. But just as you're thinking, okay, it's, might be time to think about when we're gonna take our lunch break around 11 at night or whatever, you the trees break open to a large clearing, but it's more than a clearing. For sure enough, a lake spreads out, a calm, peaceful lake with the shine of the moon lighting it up in an almost mystical fashion. And I don't mean that literally. I just mean, like figuratively. It's beautiful and idyllic.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Yeah, it's the moon is, because it's such a calm lake. It's not a lot of sparkling because there's not a lot of waves. It's literally just like you see the moon and the sky mirrored onto the ground, and it's kind of breathtaking. And it's not a huge lake, but you think it would probably take 2 hours to circumvent the entire lake effectively. And you kind of, it seems to be a nice circle. It's interesting though, there's, where you come to it, the trees in the ridge line, there's like almost like a rocky crag kind of surrounding it that's small and short, and you can just kind of step down a little bit, and it's a stair step down to it. But yeah, there is a shoreline, and there's a lake from where you're standing. Of course, it's nighttime, so you don't see much because you just see the pretty lake and the trees, and you do notice a mountain that is in the distance that you've noticed for a while. Of course, you're closer to it. It's a ways off, but you do notice that the land beyond north of the lake seems to kind of ascend upward towards the north at a slope. The trees kind of slope upward. You had a question, Sindri?
Just a random thought. What if over time the place got flooded? You dig down, it could get filled with water.
Also with this...
It's literally just a passing thought, and also it fits with the flow.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I also, I see this mountain, and I want to... Shae, which one's the North Star again?
She points it out to you, and it does point towards, basically it's, the mountain. But it's more like a small hill. It's like a small mountain, large hill in the distance.
We've got one of those right near us.
It's actually, I wouldn't even call it a hill. I guess, let me describe it a little bit better. It's more like the terrain changes levels, as it were. You see the forest going up that direction, but it still, it like moves up and then plateaus. At least as far as you can see in the distance, it's just kind of, it's nighttime and it's barely up and over the trees. So, you can't quite tell. And there is in the distance a bit of a hill / small mountain that you can see, but that's pretty far off. Not like miles and miles and miles, but, well, okay, that's not true. It would be miles and miles and miles, but it's not like massively distant away.
Yeah. Well, guys, this is quite a lovely looking spot. Shall we break here?
Sounds like
Be opposed?
All right.
All right. Are you guys going to use the hut, or are you going to camp?
Do you guys want me to use legend lore?
Do you guys want to take a break? It's about that time.
And about time for us as players to take a break.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
That's true.
That was the subtle like. Shall we take a break here? It's a lovely spot.
So, is this where you're going to take your characters are going to take a lunch break, or are you going to take your full since there's not a whole lot you can do at night. I mean, what is your plan before we take our break? Do your characters want to take a short rest or a long rest?
honestly, there's a bit of me like I do kind of want to explore this little spot and kind of feed into a little bit of the idea that Sindri had about what if it's under this, because if you went down, it would make sense. Also identifying the ley lines and that, so I would imagine it'd do a little bit, but I do think that we would probably want to wait until rest until the morning here, because it is going to be a bit more beneficial to be searching for this during the day. So
I imagined that we were gonna do the legend lore, see what happens, then take a long rest.
yeah,
Cool.
If that's
So are you gonna actually camp outside for the day?
I mean, technically,
That's
we
what it
could
sounds
just be outside, do legend lore, then open the
And go
door
into
and
the
go
door.
in.
That's true.
Yeah.
If that's what you
We
want to
don't
do.
have to. Though I would kind of imagine Thyra might want to actually camp outside. Like, I feel like that's something that she would want to do.
You guys can discuss that once we come back from our actual break. How's that?
Yeah.
All right.
because I have to pee.
Again.
All right, guys. Thank you for coming.
Gotta
Thank you for
change the
sticking
woodpecker.
around. Please stick around. Our intermission will only be about 10 minutes, and we'll be back shortly. Hi, guys. We're back again. Sans the odd couple in Washington, and my other half, my cuter half, but they'll be here soon. And it seems like the stream dropped like for a split second, so but it's back to normal again. I don't know if it was my internet or if it was, I think it was somehow my internet, because it's showing dropped. Well, I guess it could actually still be Twitch though. I don't know. Thought I would spend the dying moments of my birthday with you guys. Thank you, White's here. I hope it's not too spoilery. I mean, technically this is sort of a side quest, so it shouldn't be a big deal. So you hang out and enjoy yourself. We're so happy to have you, buddy. We are.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, White Seer.
Yes, happy belated. I mean, I was there in your stream to say happy birthday then, but I can't believe you pinned what I said, but thank you. That was funny.
Oh, it was the perfect pinned comment.
Did you do a vaginal emergence day? Happy
Yeah.
birthday.
Well,
Yeah.
I said vaginal yeet day. It's
Because I
woke
put
up.
our pillows under
things-
the blanket, and the bird now wants this spot. He's like properly investigating this spot.
That's funny.
No! Mine!
Yes.
No, you give it to the baby.
No! Get out! He's trying to climb in between the pillows.
Oh, big news. Big news.
Hmm.
Oh,
Yes.
What's the big news there, White's here?
Minecraft.
Oh, yeah, that's real big news. No shit, Sherlock. Okay. Well, did you guys enjoy your break?
Shadow Man's in chat too.
Yeah, hi Shadow Man, big stormy hugs to you. And hi again to Marco. Thank you for sticking around. Appreciate you guys sticking through the weird Twitch glitch.
Twitchy glitchy!
Mm-hmm. Okie
Glitchy
dokie.
Twitcherson.
So let us continue on with our the party was taking a break, and they were gonna take the time to cast legend lore in this area. Was there anything else you guys wanted to RP before we did that? Or I'm gonna let you guys take it away, actually.
Ruud was saying something before we ended for break, but I completely forgot what it was. Soul's Druid.
No, I think I got it.
At least somebody does.
Yeah.
So this is quite the nice spot. I know we have the mansion, but do you guys want to camp out here tonight?
I wouldn't mind that.
You always talk so low with her.
I wouldn't mind that.
Sindri, Shae?
I'm
Shae
fine
will
with
sleep
whatever.
just about anywhere.
Okay. Then I will, I'll be right back. And then I pull out the key, open the door, go inside, grab the camping equipment, back out.
So you have to carry less. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys have a bag of holding and a handy haversack. So
Well, the
Well, now it
camping
can
equipment.
be used to store.
Camping equipment would have been like set by the door just in case.
makes sense. Makes sense.
Wait. Does Merrik hold both of those?
No,
Who
I
has
have
the
the
handy?
Handy
handy
haversack.
I have the handy haversack.
You have the bag of holding.
I have the bag of holding.
Yes.
Yeah,
Since when?
since you asked for one.
You asked for one.
No idea.
You don't remember that?
Completely deleted out of my brain.
Yeah, no, you have the
You
bag of
were
holding.
but I thought it was you that had that, and then I got the handy from you.
No, I kept.
And
the
I
handy
also just
haversack.
realized when I said
Will?
Druid, calm down.
I heard it too, and I ignored it.
It's a fucking long reach across the ocean.
Yeah, so Merrik will be right back. The door opens and just like the camping equipment just thuds. Oh god, it's so bright in there. Shut the door. Oh,
So, I have a quick question. This is the side thing. We set up a command, a hug command, but the hug command is having Streamlabs give the hug, not me. So how do we change that?
Streamlabs.
oh, you'd have to
Oh.
rename Streamlabs.
No.
Or
So you set up the command in Streamlabs. If you wanted it set up in Firebot, you would have had to. Firebot would have chatted as you.
Yeah, I didn't do it in Firebot. I did it as a command in Streamlabs.
Forget you can set up commands in
You
Firebot
just got to
because I
want to
don't use it.
command as something like user and then target. I don't know the ins and outs of it, but you can basically do it for these other templates in Streamlabs that you'll just be able to copy and paste.
Yeah, I thought I did the template right. I guess not.
But the chatter is still going to be the bot, which is Streamlabs.
It'll still
But
say
if
Streamlabs, but you can have it worded that it says whoever put the command in hugs those. There is a way of doing it.
Gotcha.
'Cause I
Cool.
used to
Well,
have
I'll get with
something
you on that.
similar, but
I'll get with you on that later if you have some time. Not tonight, but like later this week or something.
I'm pretty sure as soon as we're done tonight, I can just go screenshot it and send it to you if I can. Because I've still got it all in my Streamlabs, I just don't use Streamlabs.
Cool.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Pelican and Stream dropped for a little bit.
Yeah, like when we say a little bit, like literally a second. In fact, it dropped so short that StarKitty's connection never broke. Like it's as if it did. Even though the timer restarted for her, it's as if it never anything happened. But we're back to normal now, so knock on wood. All right, continuing on. So you guys are going to start setting up camping equipment while Sindri is casting legend lore. So what are you casting legend lore on? What you need to have a mental focus for what you're trying to achieve. You know, in the past, you've used legend lore on, it's kind of obvious, like people, right? But those were people you knew historically. I mean, technically, these people are sort of historic, I guess, as well. They're legends, but
It would be on Galadoon.
what you got, Merritt? What's your question, Merritt?
So, being that Galadoon is rather famous, right? I'm very familiar with that. So to help Sindri in kind of formulate, like if he wants to do legend lore on Galadoon, I would give him a bit more of those stories to kind of identify like who he was, just to have a clear idea on Galadoon, in hopes that it can help like pinpoint like who and what. I know we're looking for the tomb, but yeah.
Because the tomb is in itself a legend, it's got legendary status in that effect. Does that mean that you could technically do that on the actual tomb, or would you have to just do it on him?
You're gonna have to try. That's the thing.
I was gonna say, I know Stormy's not gonna answer this. This is just it's like players talking it out, but to Merrik sort of thing.
Oh, so you're asking the question in character to Merrik. Okay, gotcha. Go ahead. I'll let you roleplay it.
Obviously, I'm still not 100% sure how this works. I just asked the question and the magic brings it to me. But from my understanding, it has to be something that's got legendary status or something to that effect. And because the tomb itself is is legendary, do you think I could just ask the question about the tomb?
So,
Now, I know it's not going to give me the exact location, but for information on the tomb.
yeah, I mean, it might work. I mean, we only have the one current written account of where this could be at. That doesn't mean others haven't written it down.
But I'm guessing it also pulls it from people's knowledge from what we've seen before.
Yeah, the likelihood that any of those people are still alive is one thing. However, I would imagine, yeah, the tomb is a legend. It is said to supposedly exist. So,
do you want me to try it on the actual tomb first, or do you want just a Galadoon in general first?
Well, I think it would be the tomb would probably be the smarter bet, because you would probably be inundated with. Well, here's the thing: as soon as you think about Galadoon, you're more likely to get more of his stories.
Yeah.
Than where the tomb is at. However, having a better understanding of Galadoon may assist you in identifying the tomb, because there may be something about him that kind of as to why they picked the area. I know it probably was the hideout, but like why this? So, if you're willing to listen for a few minutes.
I'm happy for story time.
Cool. So I'll just give him a couple more of those like famous stories of like his like about his character and who he was, and you know whether they're true or not. They're just the stories, just to kind of get a better.
There's not a ton.
image.
Basically, you know, kind of what I shared is the gist of it. You know, maybe a couple of extra legends of heroic battles that he had. You know, defending the weak, and you know, but the more of a mythical figure, as it were. So, so Sindri, when you cast legend lore here under the moonlight next to the crystalline lake, what do you want to focus your mind on first?
I want to focus on the final resting place of Galadoon.
Are you gonna read it that way in your head, or are you asking about a tomb?
my head that's the same thing.
Well, they're okay. I need you to tell me exactly what words you use to the spell. Think of it like a question that you ask the universe, and the universe will try and answer your question as best as it can.
I suppose it's just the straight question of where might I find the tomb of Galadoon?
Is that the question you're asking?
Yep.
With those exact words?
Yep.
Okay. You guys hear him ask that out loud. And he does this thing with the glowing cylinder of light, and he floats in the air briefly, and his eyes go, glow. And you get this sense that there's no response. Not like the magic failed, but like there's no information on a tomb of Galadoon to be had. So one casting of your spell seems to have been unfruitful.
And just checking something.
Now where the fuck is it?
Unfortunately, that didn't bring back any information, Merrik. Can you think of another way to phrase the question, or a way to pull information?
Hold on. I have it right here. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Dev. So it wouldn't be. Oh, well, the idea of a tomb can be a variety of things. And if it wants specifics, then it may not be a traditional tomb, but what we refer to as a resting place as a tomb.
Or should I just try resting place?
The final resting place.
Final resting place.
That might work.
Or the current resting place.
Ooh. That could work. If that doesn't work, I have one more idea. It'd be inquiring about the druids' ritual.
I will go to cast it again.
All right, what do you ask it this time?
Where is the current resting place of Galadoon located?
The sense you get are images of, it starts out like locally and then it zooms out. And what's given to you is this vision of a room in a keep, and then moving out to the outer areas of the keep to seeing the keep from afar. and then moving out again to seeing the keep in a valley, and then nothing.
From what I've seen, the final resting place would be within a keep somewhere, and this keep is located in the valley. And that's all I got.
Like a large keep? Like, let's just say.
It was not a large
Was it-
keep. It was a small square keep, nestled next to a mountainous cliff face. Well, not a large mountainous cliff face, but a small cliff face in a valley, at the edge, at the end of a valley.
Interesting. So. Now, if we were to go off of the poem.
So,
what's
to be
the-
clear, you get the sense when the legend lore is done that what the vision that it gave you was like a vision of the past. Even though you said current, it's still valid as current, if that makes sense. But it's
that's
like
what
the
it looked
universe
like,
can only
though.
give you like a moment out of time, and the moment that it gave you seems to have been the past, because you saw what you saw was his men, his friends, placing his body there in that room that was obviously probably his bedchamber.
So from what I saw as well, I saw his men around him. So I'm guessing what I saw was his actual burial. But that would also suggest that it's still in the same place, given that we asked current resting place.
It is said that the artifacts that they had were in this space. Yes?
That's exactly what
As
we're
far
having.
as the journal indicated, the journal of Jorval, Hornsbeak, yes.
Did Galandoon like wield a sword? Or weapon, like,
The legends indicate that he did, yes.
do any of the legends indicate the name of the sword, if it had a name?
Well, he didn't ask that for the legend lore.
I'm asking as in with information I know about Galadun from the legends. Was there any mention of
His
like, the
sword
name
didn't.
of the sword?
As far as you knew, they did carry magical artifacts that you know increased their power, but none of their gear was named. It may have names from that time that you could find once you found them, right? Using identify or legend lore, but without knowing what to ask about, you know, you're just kind of shooting in the dark, if that makes sense.
I have one final thing that I wish to try. First of all, I'll pull enough magic from my sorcery points to recover a level 5 spell. And while I'm doing that, I'll go. You were saying Merrik?
If it again, if it's it reminds me of the stories of those fickle minded deities that are typically found in, you know, a lamp of some kind where they twist the words like monkey's paw. So it's specific, but it's the quite literal translation. Perhaps asking where the artifacts of Galadun and his companions are interred. Because if that's what's in this space, that would be there.
The only other thing I was thinking is for information on the cursed blade that struck him down. We know it was cursed. I'm just kind of curious if it will have had any problematic effects for us.
That's not a bad idea. I don't know if that's going to help us find it, though. I like it,
It
though.
might not help
I
us
would love-
find it, but might help us deal with it when we get there.
I mean, that could be another question soon. Ish. But it's up to you. I
I'm not
trust your
bothered.
judgment.
Because we can ask this tomorrow when we've rested.
I would imagine we're probably going to find the most success at this point now, trying to identify where those artifacts are. Because that would then lead to the tomb, or our tomb we're looking for.
So, given the way this has been working, what is the location of the artifacts of Galadoon
And his
and his
companions.
men?
Oh, Stormy, please remind me, what is the name of this forest again? The
I think it's the Grizzledale Forest.
Grizzledale Forest?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Where in the Grizzledale Forest are the artifacts that belong to Galadoon and his companions? I don't know how more specific we could get.
Okay,
I'm sure I could figure one out, though.
that's exactly what I'll ask. Where within, whatever, you say Grizzled Woods?
Grizzledale Forest.
Grizzledale Forest.
Grizzledale Forest are what is the location within the Grizzledale Forest of the artifacts of Galadoon and his men?
Again, the spell does its thing with the same, visual effects. And you see this time the same room and in that room you see hands putting items into a large wardrobe and locking it. And that's actually all you see.
They seem to have put it into a large wardrobe in the same room. There was lots of items, but again, not very helpful. But if we search for ruins, that's probably our best bet so far.
Well,
I doubt the keep's going to be still standing if the Giants had a beef with him.
no, it actually irrelevant whether the Giants had a beef with it, considering the Druids doing the spell. So I'd imagine at this point we have confirmed that this keep is within this forest, that the tomb is not necessarily something that was already existed, or this underground space, that they
It's
probably
at the edge of a
took
valley
but
on the side of a cliff face.
But the Druids terraformed. That's the thing.
We think. We don't know exactly what they did.
Well, we know the Druids made changes to the land. So they did alter it, whether it be the physical landscape or overgrowing it and covering it, or perhaps sinking it. But
At this
we know
point,
we're in the right area.
Raven's Edge pipes in and says, perhaps maybe we're overthinking this and it would be better to wait till morning to get a literal bird's eye view and do a bit more of a reconnoiter.
It's an awfully big word.
I mean, that's what we were planning on doing anyway. We're just kind of spitballing at this point.
Yeah. Well, let's sleep on it.
All right. So you guys, go ahead.
I will say at some point after meal, us doing whatever, Merrik will walk over to the edge of the lake And kind of just like stare at it and kind of try to perceive a ley line going through it to see if he can see something.
He does not.
He'll skip a couple of rocks purely to disturb the surface of the water because it's too flat. While still like musing and thinking and just kind of like mulling the stuff over, like doing very much what they expect Merrik to do.
Sure.
Be weird.
All
The
right.
final thing Sindri's going to do is reattempt what he tried at the beginning. Just to do the detect magic while touching the floor and see if he can focus it through his hands.
Yeah, so I'm going to let you roll an arcane knowledge. I mean, you can do it. Go ahead and you do it. And then afterwards, I'm going to let you roll an arcane knowledge check
Okay.
with advantage.
$17.
So you get the sense after failing twice at it, you kind of get the hypothesis that, well, one, this is divine magic, although technically, obviously, your detect magic can detect different kinds of magic, even versions of divine. But you're thinking to yourself, well, even if a ley line convergence is massive in scope, it would be very deep and very subtle, and your detect magic only has a short range, and you think that it's mostly fruitless. Like you think it requires a different kind of magical knowledge and ability to sense and or find such a thing as a ley line.
Sindri's probably still going to try it a few more times. just to
be sure, to experiment and to be stubborn. Sure.
I've only done it twice.
Yep.
It's like I can surmise by twice that it's probably not going to work. I didn't think it was going to work to begin with.
Right.
But it doesn't technically cost me anything apart from time to try.
Okay. All right. What's everybody's watches for that night?
Jay will be
I'll
up for
take
the
first.
last two.
Or I'll take second.
Since she's gonna do the last two, did you guys want to double up on any of them?
Well, the spellcasters need at least 8 hours.
Yeah.
I've cast
I'm
no
first,
spells.
Merrick's last.
Luckily, nothing but the sounds of the night, frogs and crickets and birds cawing in the distance is all that occurs throughout your night. You wake up rather refreshed. You feel like there's this area just feels like a cozy, idyllic space. And despite the fact that it's smack dab in the middle of giant territory, and you all rest and sleep
How
well.
refreshed.
I mean, if nobody's on watch with Shae, they probably would have woken up to her like at the edge of the lake, just going,
I wonder if there's a lady that lives in here.
And as soon as you do that, Milo, who's sitting on your shoulder, paps you on the head. He pops you on the head.
I watched moving pictures about ladies living in lakes.
I wonder if there's a tomb at the bottom of this lake.
All right. So the morning comes. You guys quietly eat your breakfast and get ready to start exploring. Which way did you want to explore the lake?
First, I want to explore the sky before we explore the lake.
Okay. So you're gonna have do your usual with Echo, have him fly up and around. All right. Having Milo fly up and around.
Milo.
I mean, Echo.
I was like,
Real quick, other things that I would be kind of looking for would be like something of a cliff face, potentially, with the valley, and or a interestingly different topography in like trees or landscape. Like that seems a little more out of place than the rest, as if it was altered. That would be my intent.
Of course, you're talking about something that would have happened 200 years ago. So by then, enough overgrowth would have occurred that it might be impossible to see.
If you plant cedars in a sea of redwoods, the cedars will still be there. They would still be different. That's his theory.
I mean, that's true.
The trees
That's
would
very
still
true.
be younger.
So you have him fly around the lake, and the first thing that he notices right off the bat, and although from your angle at this end of the lake you can't quite make it out, it becomes really obvious very shortly that at the north end of the lake there is a river that opens that basically ends in the lake. A river that goes northward towards that hill rising in the distance. And he also notices I mean, that's basically it. That's all he notices.
And in terms of the overall distance that he can go, that's as far as he's able to see with the distance he can go.
No, I mean that I'm just letting you know what you see around the lake. With his total distance, he can see the river goes about an hour's travel to what looks like a clearing and a grotto and a waterfall. And that, what happened?
I got sick to death of being right on the edge, so now I can pan the camera over a bit.
So yeah. So as I was saying, he can also see that there's a plateau of land in the distance that's like another area of land in the distance, and but because of its level of plateau, he can't quite make out what's in the distance. It's just over the horizon, but it definitely is a plateau. But then it seems like it might on the other side of the plateau kind of flatten out so that he can't really see much. And but definitely, like I said, it looks like that plateau has water flowing to a waterfall into a grotto, and then that grotto spills into a river that fills this lake.
I think we go that way. There is a river that leads into this lake that is fed by a waterfall that is on a elevated plain right there. I think we go that way. I'm just gonna trust my gut on this.
You think it's hiding behind the waterfall?
Oh, as he's coming back, one other thing you noticed is at least nearby you to the south of the round lake. You think you see some sort of toppled over, kind of broken, ruined obelisk that's overgrown. You almost didn't spot it until you saw the gray of the stone. And it's not far from where you guys camped. You could easily walk there in like 10 minutes.
You guys know I love being distracted. We're gonna go this way through the river. Slight detour on an obelisk. Like 10 minutes.
Gotcha. Instead of going from where your vantage point around this way to the river, you're going to go sort of the long way around the river around the lake to the river, but via way of that obelisk to check it out first. Okay. So you guys do that. You make your way towards the southern edge of the lake, and you come to this area where it's easier to see from the sky, but from this angle, it's very overgrown. But then you get close enough to investigate, and sure enough, you know, in the thicket, you find this toppled over, partially broken obelisk. And it, when you're standing here, now looking straight north up the lake, you can actually see the river going up into the forest, almost like a canopy, like a tunnel of trees, and the river goes straight up, directly north from this point where you're at on this stone. And it's interesting, it's like the stone, even though it's toppled over and slightly crooked and slightly, you know, broken, it's pointing south, directly south.
I wonder if this is what they reference the points. I wonder. I'm gonna make a bet that we're gonna come across another one towards the. This one would be the south, looking north. We're probably gonna find one to the east along this.
Well, you were going to the east. You're this way. You'd be going around to the west. So, since you said that you're
west.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. Probably on the western side. And I imagine there might be one across on the eastern side, and there might be another one to the northern side.
This is the compass.
I imagine this might be the compass.
So you keep going just to test your theory, traveling around the edge of the lake.
We're gonna walk that direction anyway.
Yeah.
Like,
And you walk up around, and about where you think the middle point of the lake is, you start looking around. There's a lot of more trees on this side. It's a lot thicker, and it's a little bit harder to go. There's not much of a shoreline. It's sort of an edge line. But eventually you do. Actually, I'm going to have the survivalists roll survival. I think that's also,
26.
that one.
Definitely not the mages.
We'll get there. What did Thyra get?
17.
Both of you, well, actually, it's pretty roughly hidden, so Thyra would have just missed it barely. But you do find, sure enough, hidden amongst a copse of trees, completely overgrown with grass and vines, another similar obelisk. This one's more intact, and it's also fallen over, but it's pointing directly west.
Shae would have turned around going, "Hey, Mr. Merrik, come on, another one."
This one, being far more intact, I'll study. Like, are there any marking? Like, I know it's overgrown and there's probably vines and stuff on there, but if I kind of shift some stuff around, do I see any markings or runes or anything other than just a stone pointing in a direction?
Nope. It's completely plain and blank. It's in the shape of a, kind of like the Washington Monument, that kind of shape.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Much smaller, but yeah.
Yeah. Now, is the type of stone similar to the other stones in the area, or does it stand out as this was brought here versus this was created here? You don't feel like you've seen enough rock and stone to make that assessment. It could have been found here, but it also may not have. Okay. It doesn't. Then by that, it doesn't really aggressively stand out enough to be like, oh, clearly not from here. So
I would say that obviously the design and shape of it is the fact that it's only 6 feet tall means that it's unlikely the giants made it.
Okay, so if we look at this, round and round the points, you go, you don't find a home, it's to the source of the flow. So
I feel you may be right that we need to follow the river.
yeah, so I'll imagine the source of the flow might be that waterfall, because the flowing river into the lake, I would be hard pressed to say that there's not an eastern or northern compass point. And the beginning of a compass is typically north. So I think we're on the right path.
All right.
And it would make sense that this poem is written in the way that it is, because it's just vague enough that if you don't know what you're looking for, you won't find it. However, still very specific enough for somebody who might not remember its exact location to find it again. Nothing. All right then, guys, let's go.
Let's go.
All right, you guys continue on northward, continuing around the bend, and you make your way to the river that flows into the lake. And of course, at this area, it's flattened out quite a bit. It's not completely flat, obviously, otherwise it wouldn't be a river that's flowing, but it's mostly kind of, it's a pretty deep, fast-running river as it spills into the lake at this point. And kind of looking at the river as you get closer to it, you notice that there, because of the hard flow of the river, you can't easily spot any obelisk in the northernmost part. You feel like you would have to delve into the river itself, which is full of moss-covered slippery rocks. If you of course, your first instinct is to have Milo and Echo or wherever, fly over and see. They do see some shapes under the rushing rapids that could be, but you would have to really still get close enough to inspect physically. Yeah.
So with being able to see into the ethereal plane, and that this space is kind of a haunting echo of where we are currently in the ethereal plane, is there water in the river?
Yeah, so from the way I perceive the ethereal plane in my worlds, you still sort of see the features. They just have sort of an eerie, translucent, dark effect that's like a white outline over blackness, just sort of, so you still see it. But it's good that you say that, actually, because now that you are, if you close one eye and focus on just seeing through the ethereal plane, it makes it such that the outline of an obelisk is much more obvious than would have been. You could have waded out into it and found it. But now, because you're looking at it through only the lens of etherealness, the water becomes less churny in that area, and you see definitely the outline of this solid object, just like the other obelisks, and it's facing due north.
Shae?
Yes.
To answer your question, yes, the eye is helpful. Because there is an obelisk pointing directly due north in the water. If I cover my normal eye, it's easier to discern the ethereal plane. The water is less churny over there, so I can see it pointing that way. I think that's the way we go.
So you continue northward up the riverbank? Right.
Onwards.
Okay.
Once just around the river bend.
Yeah. You travel on, and I believe I said earlier that you think it would be about an hour's travel up the river to the grotto with the waterfall. And Any other, you guys just keep on your journey because you're curious, and your curiosity draws you farther forward. Eventually, you come to another idyllic scene. Sure enough, as the slope continues upward, kind of stair-stepping sloping upward, now you start to see the trees are kind of growing, and there's different trees growing. The foliage kind of changes, and you can see that the hillock it becomes a rocky hill and a rocky crack and a cliff face in the distance. And eventually you do come to this open clearing with a grotto, a tall cliff face, a waterfall coming down off the top of the cliff face. And you're thinking to yourself, man, whatever, on the plateau on the other side must be, pretty, you're curious about what that plateau, that mountainous plateau is above. But I'm going to have everybody, let's see. If you have nature, you can roll a nature check. And I'm going to let Merrik, just on virtue of his genius level intellect, you can roll an intelligence check. Since you have proficiency in that, just make it like an intelligence saving throw. You basically can use your proficiency with it too. Don't you have
just
nature?
do an intelligence saving throw, essentially.
What do you mean you don't have nature?
No, I don't have nature. I could roll it. It's a straight roll.
Oh.
Same.
Oh. Okay.
Because nature's an intelligence.
Okay, you can use survival too. I guess survival would sort of fit this. The DC will be harder for survival and you can roll survival too.
Yeah, no.
What'd you get?
12.
Okay. Hey, Zach. Hey, Kieran.
Rolled
Did you
a
get 12?
1.
Hey, Never Tilted. Hey, guys. Captain. Oh, you want wonderful peeps. Froggy, hello. All right.
So, dice plus intelligence modifier plus proficiency.
Yes.
Basically, it's an intelligence saving throw.
I have a +2 on saves because of the vest, so I wanted to make sure I understand.
Oh, you take that part out. Yeah.
Versus versus +9.
Right. So what was your total on survival?
12. I rolled a 1.
And she got?
I got a 15.
Okay. And Sindri, do you have any skills that you want to potentially put to use?
Not for anything of this, he'd just rely on everybody else on this matter.
And Merrik?
24.
24? Damn. What'd you roll?
15.
Oh,
15
nice. Okay.
+9. Yeah.
So, only Merrik notices this as you guys are looking at this beautiful waterfall, and it's nice. It creates this cool misty breeze, and there's this beautiful trees. There's beautiful vines and flowers growing up all around it. It's like a wonderful sight in a strange. It seems out of place in this area. And there's a small pool. There's a deep, small pool that spills out into the river. I guess I wouldn't call it small. It's actually pretty wide, and it spills out into the river. But what Merrik notices that's really odd is that the water flowing from the waterfall into the pool below, that then becomes the river. It seems to have a way heavier flow than the water halfway up from the top. The water from the top, the actual top of the waterfall, where you would think it's coming down, it's a small, fairly normal waterfall. But about halfway down the waterfall, it somehow grows like expands like almost to the bottom edge of where the pool is. The volume of water is just hitting that in a massive way that can't possibly be the amount of water that's coming from the top.
You guys see what I'm seeing?
A waterfall.
I don't know. Milo, do you like water? What are we looking at?
A
shower?
Okay. Shae, I'm surprised you didn't realize this. Why is the water from the waterfall stronger halfway down?
I said halfway, but that's more inaccurate. It's more like close to the quarter mark.
Like the bottom quarter versus the top quarter. Yeah.
The bottom quarter.
Yeah. Rephrase. Why is the water flowing stronger at the bottom of this waterfall?
So now that he's pointing it out to you guys, you all can roll me insight at advantage.
I have a theory, but I want to see if you guys come to the same conclusion.
$19.
19.
19,
My
19,
second
and
nat 20.
25. Okay.
2 nat 20s in one night. The fuck is going on with my dice?
And it's not during combat. What a shame.
Don't bring attention. Don't bring attention to it.
Yeah, why did you say that?
I always
So
bring
19,
attention to
19,
that
and
once
25.
I'm doing it.
So now that Merrik has pointed out to you guys see it too. It seems like a really strange formation. Like it doesn't seem to make sense.
You want me to fly up and see?
I would imagine that. I mean, sure. That would be fantastic. I'd imagine that. You know, Theo,
you
when you
want
play
to
your
fly up
games,
and check?
what? You know, when you play your games, and they have what was the term they used? Easter eggs? Never made sense. But there are places hidden.
It's
In a very obvious place.
Oh, you mean like
I
secret
imagine-
items?
Yes. I imagine it's.
I have heard
It's
something
there.
about game developers hiding things in waterfalls quite frequently.
Thera just
Right
shakes
there.
her head, and I'm gonna fly up to where the water's different, and then try to push my arm through to see if there's an opening.
Oh, okay. You don't even have to fly up to that point. If you just walk up to the edge to where the rock, I mean, you still have to fly because you have to fly over the water, right? But it's not that high up. And so once you get closer, it definitely becomes obvious. You couldn't see it from any angle unless you're like really on top of it, really in front of it. Basically, like you would probably need to swim into the pool of water and up to this spot to be able to spot it if you couldn't fly, right? Nobody.
I would just fly.
Basically, what I'm saying is, from the outside of the thing, nobody can spot it from the edges of the pool. But once you're in the middle of the pool and right up on it, Thera, you see that sure enough, there's a round, dark tunnel that is behind the waterfall, and it's almost like a hose pouring water through, which is really odd in and of itself.
Is it like all water?
Yeah,
flowing? Or is
the
it
entire
like,
tunnel is just like a hose of water just pouring, but because of the way the other waterfall kind of obscures it, it pours out and commingles with that waterfall and pours into the grotto, to the pool of water in the grotto.
Okay. Yeah, I'll fly back and just. What's behind there is just a tube of water.
Wait, there's a second
A tunnel.
waterfall in the waterfall?
Correct?
I don't think I've ever encountered that. But then again, never really encountered a waterfall.
You should see them on Malboria.
I imagine they're ice.
Makes them far more beautiful.
A lot colder too.
Correct.
Does anybody want to fly up and check out the plateau above?
I'll send Echo.
When you send Echo up there, Milo feels like flying, so he faces after Echo, and Echo and Milo fly around chasing after each other. And you're not warging into him; you're just having him check it out for now, and then you're going to warg in when he gets up there.
Every time I send Echo out to scout, like I'm working it.
Okay,
Like,
fair
there's-
enough.
Yeah.
So they fly up there together, and as they get over the ridge line, what they see, you see your typical kind of a forested flat area with the river that flows into that waterfall. But that kind of angles up, and there is for about a mile into the distance, there's some streams that feed into this small waterfall, some small streams that feed into this waterfall, but it's a giant plateau, and there's this huge forest and a massive lake in the distance that really wasn't too visible from where you were at in the past because of its plateau nature, sort of like a mountain lake, right? And at the end of that lake, you can definitely see that mountain in the distance. But basically, it looks like there's a higher level lake in the distance above on that plateau, and some of the streams coming off of it feed into the normal part of that waterfall. But you think that somehow or another, there's a tunnel going straight from that massive lake flowing into this waterfall, and I'm gonna let you guys discuss what you think the theory is based upon the poem and what you think is going on here. And if you want, you can roll a survival check based upon. So I'm assuming you come down and you come out of Echo and tell everybody, and Echo and Milo will still be up there playing in the air. And
given
chasing
the
each other.
playful nature, I wouldn't just pop him back. I'd be like, okay, you're fine.
Right. And your survival, and I'm going to let you roll another intelligence saving throw. And let's see, what are your what are your proficiency skills, Sindri?
Arcana, Insight, Medicine.
I'm going to let you roll
Deception,
insight.
Persuasion.
Yeah, I'm going to let you roll insight, and then Druid, what are your skill?
Athletics, history, insight, intimidation, medicine, persuasion.
I'll let you also roll
survival.
an insight. Both of you roll insight, you get to roll your survival. And then Fate, your character can roll just the intelligence saving throw again. Or, without the +2 of the,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, dirty 20.
Dirty 20 and
23.
31.
Jesus.
I rolled a nat 20.
You,
Me too.
all of you, what did you get, Fate?
22.
Okay. All of you come to the conclusion that it looks like because of the way Thyra described the tunnel as a tube, that using some sort of magic, someone tunneled a flow of water from the larger lake above on the plateau into this grotto, creating, you get the sense that what was here before was likely just a deep pool, maybe a small stream, right, at the most, that flowed this direction. But somebody magically created this tunnel from the other lake to open up a flow down this to make a much deeper rushing river that leads to the smaller lake with the stone compass points around it. And I'll let you guys interpret the poem the way you want now that you have that information. If you want, I'll reread it again.
I was sitting here reading it.
Yeah, I've been staring at it. If you would like to reread it for the audience, absolutely.
Sure. Round and round the points you go, but never will you find the home, until first ye understand the source of the flow. Forever lost you will be, until you seek the beginning of the compass you see, delving low into the cavern's darkest deep, to find Galadoon in his restful sleep.
Can you read the forever lost you will be sentence
Sure.
again?
Forever lost you will be, until you seek the beginning of the compass you see.
I had it written down different.
By the way, I think I owe you a bit of an explanation. I forgot. Sort of, this isn't meant to be a retcon, just something I realized I neglected to describe. BT, when I described your legend lore of you zooming out, it was dark. And it continued to be dark in this valley that you saw. And, but you didn't see all of the valley. So I just thought I'd let you know that it was, I guess I should have specified because you may have imagined it in daytime, but I wanted to make it clear. Yeah, I wanted to make it clear that the legend lore gave it to you as if it were dark, like nighttime.
Sindri.
Yes.
When you saw the valley, how big was the valley?
So it was pretty large, not massive, but like imagine a rock quarry kind of place, kind of valley.
Do you imagine that valley could be full of water at the moment?
I mean, kind of like we surmised at the beginning.
Yeah, but above us, there's the larger lake. You think that is the valley?
It could be.
It wasn't that big from your view. From your memory of the legend lore, it was not
I
that
haven't
big.
seen how big the lake is, though.
No, that's true. That's true, you haven't. Yeah, so his question is kind of nonsensical to you. Yeah, I'll just shut up then.
That's fair. I realized my question was poorly fit.
All right. So
the source of the flow is coming through that tunnel, and it comes from the lake up top.
Yep.
We have our compass points. Round the points.
So you'd be lost until you find the source of the flow, which is this.
No, that's not what the poem says. It says until first you understand the source of the flow. Which you now understand that whatever the legend was that some sort of druidic ritual, swallowed it up to time. And you get the sense that the only kind of magic that you could think of that could create that man-made tube would be druidic magic. A powerful druid could repeatedly cast shape stone. Yeah.
So, if the druid is shaping stone to feed water from the north, I call it the northern lake because it's either way the high lake.
Yeah.
To come down this way, then that water must be occluding something else or masking something else. I feel like that would make sense. Because if we are to go into a cavern, that means we need to go down. And perhaps this grotto was not full of water at that time.
Well,
Anybody
I can
can
say
swim?
that. Oh, go ahead, Sindri.
I was just going to say it's also a very good way to protect it if it's full of water now.
But now, so is again. You get the realization that they diverted a lake to create a lake. So you're starting to put it together that maybe your original theory that they filled something below around the compass points with water.
So it sounds like you have to go back to the compass lake. Do you think that's where it is?
Probably.
Shae,
Question though is that if what you say, Sindri, that there was a keep on the edge of a cliff, and that's where he is, and that's where those items are. The druids must have done more than just route the water then.
It basically would have made an entire mountain disappear. Well, cliff face disappear into a pit. Which I don't see that happening.
Why?
Tunneling through rock is one thing.
I mean, it might not have been the only thing, but probably we do need to go back to our lake and go down. There's a good chance that we need to go back to the obelisk that is in the river, that is our northern point, and continue re-investigating from there, because you will be lost until you seek the beginning of the compass. So I think that there might be something nearby that obelisk that may lead to where we need to go, or a way to find anyway, let's go back.
I don't know how clear it's going to be, but technically I can check what's under the water.
How so?
I can give myself the ability to breathe underwater.
You remember that in your training you could do that too. With your ranger school training. Trust me, it's a 3rd level ranger spell.
Oh, I didn't take it for the day.
No, but I don't think he did either.
Oh,
I've
these are
always got all of my
prepared.
spells.
Yeah.
Oh, right. You're a sorcerer. Duh. Yeah. You took water breathing?
Nope, I've got alter self.
Oh, it gives you gills.
It gives you
Yeah,
gills.
that's true. Yeah.
Adapt your
Yeah,
body to an
aquatic
aquatic
adaptation.
environment, spurt gills, webbed
So does your
fingers,
character
ability
pipe in
to
and say
breathe
something?
underwater, or swimming equal to walking speed.
I can tell you that you can
Yeah.
cast it on your entire party for up to 24 hours.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't have taken water breathing if that was an option.
Yeah. I didn't even think it was an arcane spell. Matter.
So
But I'll definitely
I have a
take gills and
section
webbed
under Ranger
fingers
that
to
says spells
swim
known,
better.
and I have 7 spells that I can know.
And I can instantly dry myself off.
Yeah, so
I didn't pick water breathing as one of the 7 spells that I know.
like rangers spells, you can change them out like cleric spells, just like druids. You just have a much more limited supply.
Now it says, additionally, when you gain a level in this class, you can choose one ranger spell you know and replace it with another spell from the ranger spell list, which must also be of a level for which you have spell slots. So.
No, that's wrong. I don't care if that's what the book says. That's not, that goes against the way we've always played, and it's dumb. Like druids can swap out their spells. You don't have to know a spell. You could just rest and pick a different spell. So why would, no, I disagree with that. We're house ruling that.
Okay.
Works for me.
Because, yeah. Yeah. I guess I'm still 3.5 old school, because, yeah, that's,
And Merrik has Alter Self as well.
Well, that covers 2 of you. It doesn't cover 2 of them, or the kitty, or Echo can go in your, in your pocket dimension, but yeah, it doesn't cover Milo and Thyra and.
Water
I've
breathing
never
is a
tried twin
ritual
spelling
spell.
it.
It's also a ritual spell. Yeah. I find that annoying that they say you can only know certain spells as a ranger.
Yeah, I'm 11th level ranger. My spell's known as 7.
Well, at any rate, I mean, you already have such a limited pool of spells that you can know, and a limited number of spells that you can cast. Why would they also limit it additionally in saying, oh, you can only know these spells? I'm sorry. That doesn't fit with the whole motif of nature giving you what you need. So, yeah.
Yeah, and it definitely feels like a spell that would make sense for a ranger to be able to do.
Yeah.
Like, it
Just have.
yeah.
So, at any rate, there we go.
Okay.
So, you guys decide to go back to the Compass Lake, and just as you finish your conversation and start making your way out of the grotto, turning around to walk down the river, suddenly breaking out of the forest, a ways down to where you wouldn't have heard them coming through the trees, breaking through the trees, you guys see a pair of giants. And they look up the river, and you guys look down at them, and basically you all spot each other. And so oh wow, that's a little bit early. But I think this will be, it's up to you guys. If you think you can beat, I will say, Merrik, you can roll a knowledge check. Merrik and Thyra can roll a knowledge check. There's some giants on her world. They're not as prolific as they are here. I know that's different than normal Nordic history, but that's just the way.
Well, I mean,
Oh no.
the Jotuns are giants.
For the fantasy.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like that's what I'm saying. Normally in Nordic history, there's lots of giants. That's where most of the
I see what you
lore
mean.
comes
The
from.
other direction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm saying
being
in this universe, the primary source of giants is on Valion. Versus.
Yeah, and I was just being snarky. Oh no! How dare you change it for a fantasy setting? Oh no!
So what did you guys get?
What am I rolling?
Whatever knowledge you think like might work, like history or nature.
The survival cow.
Don't you have history? I thought.
I do.
That means you too, Merrik.
You want me to roll history?
Yeah.
Okay.
What'd you get?
24.
24.
22.
What you got?
22.
22. All right. One of these giants is holding a giant spiked club, wearing fiery red armor and glowing fiery eyes. The other has long white hair and beard, where it looks almost Nordic, like he would be at home in her world, with pale skin and an axe and a shield. Basically, both of you recognize this as a frost and a fire giant, and they basically. Say again?
Is he 10 feet
Tell
tall?
him to shut
I
up.
was gonna say, yeah.
I see what you're doing there. Yeah.
Is he in there?
Yeah. So,
No.
so how tall are these giants compared to the trees around them?
Well, trees are a lot taller than giants. I mean, giants are tall, but like the trees in this area, this is a very thick, tall forest.
Okay.
And if you think about a tree, can be, 30, 40, 50, 100 feet tall. But a giant, these giants are like 15 feet tall.
Okay.
So like 3 people tall. They basically, they're just far enough, basically, I would say that from one end of the map to the other, which is a little over 100 feet, or 100 squares. And so they were just far enough that you guys wouldn't necessarily hurt them. And they break out of the trees into the river, and they look like they're bending down to get water to drink, but they look up and see you guys just as you guys lock eyes with them. And it's up to you all if you all think you can beat these 2 giants, or if you want to wait until next week.
I have to
I mean,
ask,
I'm
were
ready
you
to roll some
were you
dice.
wanting us to fight giants? Since we
We're in
kind
giant territory.
You're in giant territory.
No. But we've been doing so good of hiding from them.
Yeah, you forgot to mention that you were going to continue hiding from them.
I mean, I'm down.
How you doing, BT?
Yeah. How are you doing?
I'm fine now. I moved the fucking thing so I could be further over. That's the reason I yanked it down, because I was like, I'm pushing myself up a bit more to stay on camera, and now I can properly lean over. I just need to move where I put that green screen.
Well then, it's time to switch to initiative.
Not bad. I am going to do the tiny bladder thing, and I'll be right back while you guys get that set up.
So the fire giant seems significantly larger than the frost giant. It's like a huge instead of a large. And I'm trying to think what would be better, to do it from the side or do it like this. I think like that.
Shay's standing there panicking, going, I thought we weren't supposed to fight these.
I know we all turned to look at Merrik.
We're just not supposed to kill
So
unless absolutely necessary.
Then we need to obliterate them.
What I'm going to do is draw the river running through it. No Brad Pitt allowed. And
I hate that I've got that stuck in my head. As soon as the giants were strolling through, it was that music played in my head.
which music?
Just two giants plodding along, not ready for a fire, they're just going for a drink, so it's nice and chill.
So you guys would have come up this way.
What you huffing at? Because you woke
You guys
up from your
basically,
dream.
I want you to imagine that the grotto, oh, you can't see my hands. I want you to imagine that the grotto is at the edge of the map up this way. We're off map. But you guys started walking down, turned around and walked right out of the clearing, and this is where you spotted them. They came out together on this side of the river. Okay.
Like Naboo's head.
Shae,
6.
Thyra,
22.
Merrik,
18.
Sindri,
21.
Okay, since there's only 2 of them, they're going to have separate initiatives. And yeah, you guys have spotted each other across the river. For you guys to wade across the river, it's going to be about like chest deep. For them, it's like wading across a creek.
Chest deep for whom? Thyra?
Definitely not for
she's
the
only
little gnome.
like she's what, like a head?
Why?
Well, I'm talking about for those who can walk, who only walk. Okay. Yes. you
Everybody
can
has
fly.
access to flight.
I mean, okay, whatever you want to do. I'm just saying. I was describing that if you were to try and ford the river, walk across it, it's chest deep. You can make with that information what you will.
Unless
Who
you're
goes
Sindri.
first?
It swallows.
Sindri. No, excuse me, Thyra. You said 22, right, Thyra?
Correct. I'm going to look at Merrik and do you want us to fight or flee?
Knowing these fight.
You can't respond yet. It's not your initiative.
Oh, shit.
And I will take like a step forward, like down the river, just.
Oops. And then are you gonna do this?
No, I'm just gonna wait for Merrik because I don't know what we're doing.
Okay.
Because we're still under the impression that we're not supposed to fight or kill any of these things.
Well, I never said you weren't supposed to fight. You just need to make sure you dispose of the evidence and or make it look like it was the Fairy King.
But we don't want to start a war.
I thought that was
There's already a war between them. You need to make sure that humans aren't involved, because that would start a war with the Ungol lands. The giants are already at war with the Fey lands. I'm sorry I didn't make that clear. I guess you didn't remember their history from before. That was my bad. Yeah.
No, and also like in all the conversations with Merrik's made it like, I don't want to start a war. We don't want to fight.
Yeah, because we are primarily humanoid. So I don't really want to do. I know we're disguised, but it's like I don't want to take the chance if we don't have to. You asked a question, and Merrik will respond in time.
So that's my turn. So this is like the understanding that Thyra is going off of. So
Sure,
yeah.
I understand. Just making it clear for everybody. Okay, so she steps up and if you want, you can skip your turn to the end. You can actually do that.
Okay.
Okay. We'll just put you back. You wait for Merrik's command. All right. So next is going to be Sindri.
Am I within 120 feet?
He would be on that square, just barely 120 feet to the frost giant.
I'll make my full movement towards them, so like diagonal.
I forgot to put the trees. Sorry.
Tree meisters.
Down on them. My house is ruined. You don't like the lighthouse? You suck. Mr. Walkway. Mr. Walk Down Me, I'm the walkway. Lead me to the building. Fuck you. Not my chair, not my problem. That's what I say. Mr. Nuts. Mr.
Hey,
Fancy.
Ezo!
What? Ezo's here? Holy crap. Ezo. Big stormy hugs to you, Mr. Ezo, man. It's been a while, Ezo-Lade. We love you.
Howdy, Ezo.
Holy crap. Can't believe Ezo's here. And the Tin Man. Hey, what's up? All right. So, you said you're going to move your full movement?
Yep, which is 30 now.
That's here.
Okay.
And that'll put me in range of both of them now, I presume.
Yes.
I am going to twin spell Psychic Lance at them,
Where's Ezo?
but I am going to upcast
Oh, I see.
it to 6th level.
Jesus Christ, what?
Yeah.
6th level
I'm gonna-
psychic lance at them.
I'm going to
Okay.
buy us some time. Or at least that's what I'm going to attempt to do.
Wow. Okay. What is remind us first of all, describe what the spell looks like when you're casting it, and then tell us about its effects.
So, you won't see much energy coming off him, because it's psychic damage, but you'll see him kind of point his... What I'm imagining is he'll swing it round, and then whip his
The lasso
staff
kind, yeah.
forwards
Mhm.
towards them. Yeah, kind of like a lasso. And the spell, they need to make an intelligence save, but it will deal 7, 8, 9 d6, and they'll be incapacitated till the start of their next turn.
Gotcha.
The start of my next turn, if they fail.
They
Or take
become
half
incapacitated?
Yes.
All right, I gotta see this spell. And what's it called again? Psychic Lance?
It's a
Yeah.
4th level spell, but I'm upcasting it to 6. So it'll be 9d6, yeah.
Okay. The frost giant. So you're wise to do this on there is an intelligence saving throw. Neither one of these are smart chaps. One of them is average. The fire giant is average intelligence. The other one is not. So he gets a -1 on his roll. And what's the DC?
19.
19? Wow.
Yep.
Okay. I rolled a 16, which gave him a 15, so he fails. And the fire giant is a straight roll. I got to roll a 19 or better. And a roll of 14. So both of them are like just completely mentally stunned. They're just standing there.
I've just got enough D6 to do this. It's every single one of my D6s.
Nice.
Eh, 26 psychic damage to each of them. There was
So
one or twos and
each of
ones.
them basically feel a small aneurysm go off inside their brains. You said how much?
26 psychic damage.
26 from 96?
Yep. A lot of ones and twos.
Holy shit.
It
Wow.
was
They're done
1,
that.
2, 3, 4. 4 twos and 2 ones.
Been there, done that with big spells.
Holy
rolls.
crap.
Yep.
But they're incapacitated now? They're just standing there stupid? For how long?
Incapacitated
Until his next turn.
So they skip this turn. Well, this round.
It's really, really smart. Okay. Next would be the fire boy, but he does nothing but for stunned it. You know, he basically a small bomb went off, killing neurons in his brain instantly. They're both bleeding from their eyes and their noses. And next is going to be. Oh, I'm sorry. No, I did actually go out of order. Merrik, you're next.
And then it's not Jotun.
Not your turn. Oh, I would have added on. I've attempted to buy us some time.
Right. I can add to that, and if they choose to pursue, then we fight, but run. And I will move up just past Sindri. Maybe about 10 feet past him.
Well, this is 30 feet.
can.
Do you have a 40-foot move or something?
Oh, you know what? I only have 30 feet while I'm not in Blade Song, or my Transcendence.
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
It's perfectly fine, because at 120 feet, I'm going to cast Hypnotic Pattern on them, which is a Wisdom saving throw, DC 18, and they would, if they fail, they're incapacitated for an entire minute until someone either shakes them or does damage. So,
What's
see
the
what
spell
happens.
again?
Hypnotic pattern.
Yeah, 3rd level. So they both must make that's a 30-foot cube.
Yeah, I'm looking it up.
range.
Yeah, let me see.
Can they make saves when they're incapacitated?
It's a Wisdom save. So,
What's incapacitated? Actually,
incapacitated is more about movement, actions, reactions.
So I have it right here. Incapacitated. I thought I had it right here. Incapacitated is an incapacitated creature can't take actions or reactions. It doesn't say this, but I would also say that if they can't take actions or reactions, then they can't make like dexterity saving throws, right? because it doesn't make sense that they could if they can't react. So, yeah, and yeah. At any rate, so all right, so they both have to make a wisdom saving throw. DC what?
18.
18. Okay. Why is your DC 19 and yours is 18? Out of curiosity.
I've
He
got
has
the
the-
+2 spell focus.
He has the +2.
All right,
I have
the
a
+2
+1.
spell focus. Remind me what idiot gave you that again?
I don't know.
Oh, surely wasn't the
Baker.
Alright, look at their, and this is a wisdom save. Oh wow, the frost giant actually has a decent wisdom save of +3, and that's not because he's wise. It's just they have a wisdom saving throw. But a 14 isn't going to get there. And for the fire giant, they don't have wisdom as one of their saving throws. I rolled a natural 17, and it still doesn't get there. So they are
what
now
experience.
completely hypnotized for a whole minute.
Yes.
What do you say to the party?
So what
I guess
what
you already
you guys
did.
see?
Yeah.
What you guys see from Merrik is pretty much like Merrik just like runs up, like jumps in and like lands next to Sindri and does like this swirling, almost like you would imagine like someone swirling dust in the air. And he's like, and he casts it out, and you see just this little bit of a near the giants. They experience the supernal, much like I showed Sindri. So for them to get hit with this psychic lance of pain and then immediately, and they see the void, that's what they've experienced. And then, even though I know I already used my words, I would love to use my bonus action to go run. And then we're gonna like just.
They're going to
book it back
repeat
to, like,
run because you already said that once.
Yeah, but it was if they pursue, fight, but run, and now is the command run. Like, time to go.
Which way?
So-
Yeah. So I'm thinking it would probably be best to make it back towards the grotto up the river.
Oh. I was thinking going back to the compass.
But we've still got to go. That
Yeah, it's that you can't. You're metagaming a bit. You said run,
Yeah.
and we're gonna have to go in order of the people interpreting your stuff. So that's what we'll do. Keep in mind, a minute is a long time when you think that you can move. You can take double moves in your round in 6 seconds. So yeah, the bottom line is so it's now the Fireboy's turn. He is now basically incapacitated. He's done for a minute, and it's then Shae's turn. Would you have interpreted like you guys were going to the compass, or you wanted
So-
to run to the lake?
Shae is deferring to her friends. She's going to pick up Milo, ready her action to run in the same direction that her friends do.
Okay. Then Frosty spins in place, and and then Thyra.
It's one of those things where,
Take your poison.
yeah. So we were heading to the compass, and so that's the direction that she's thinking. And so,
You run down the riverbed bank towards the lake as fast as you can.
I fly.
Oh, well, you fly. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Did you want to
And
pick up anybody?
I was actually gonna swoop in and pick up Sindri.
So you're gonna scoop up Sindri. Okay.
No. Actually, no. I would actually swoop in and pick up Merrik because Merrick's the one that doesn't have the capability to fly.
Right.
So I'd swoop in and pick up Merrik.
Okay. So you're gonna swoop in. You're gonna basically 5, 10, 15, 20. You're gonna grab Merrik. She's gonna grapple you. Do you let her grapple you?
Yes.
Right.
I feel like
you end up
actually,
moving.
hang on.
Mhm.
You know what?
Mhm.
In this moment, it's unexpected for Thyra to just willingly grab Merrik. So,
She could say
Silver's
something
heads, Blue's
before we get
tails.
to that point. Do you say anything?
Roll it. Flip it.
Yeah.
Flip it.
So, Blue is heads.
No, we're not doing a
Blue's
flip of
tails.
the coin.
Yeah, I'm flipping it.
No, we're not doing a flip of the coin.
Fine.
You
So-
could argue though that
Now-
trust's instilled in the party.
So here's the thing. I'll let you flip a coin if Druid decides that she doesn't want to say anything. She's just going to do it.
You probably wouldn't.
Okay.
It's one of those things where, like, heat of the moment.
Then, but we won't do a flip of the coin. We'll do you pick low or high.
Cool.
What'd you pick?
Hi.
71. So, you let her then? Okay.
Yeah.
So for a second, you think, what the hell's going on? But then you're like, oh, yeah. She can probably fly farther. So what is your fly speed? Is it the same as your walk speed?
40. Yeah, so it's just 40.
Okay. So you go
And then I would action dash.
30, then 5, 10, and then. So the bottom line is, let's see what other people do next. You're in the air, feeting it down the way.
My ready action goes off and I start running in that same direction with holding Milo.
You see her take off flying with him, and that you know that you guys can get farther, faster flying. You're still gonna just keep running?
Well, that's what my ready in action was.
Right, your ready action was that. That's true.
Yeah.
So you go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 5, 10.
Milo wants to be
30.
stubborn and break his way out of my arms and transform, then that's Milo's
Oh, he's
prerogative.
still gonna wait and for you to command him. So that's what you do, and
I've got a
and then
mechanics question.
yeah, what's up?
Just with hypnotic gaze, just do they see what's going on while they're under this hypnotic gaze? Or
No, I don't.
no
I don't
idea
think
at all?
they would.
That would be my interpretation of it. I was just clarifying. Because then
Yeah,
they
they're
wouldn't know which
basically-
way we went.
Yeah. The way because you comboed him with, a brain aneurysm, and then this hypnotic pattern that all they see is this hypnotic pattern of the supernal firmament. Then yeah, right now during the minute that they're incapacitated, they don't know what the fuck is going on. So
Poor bastards.
so that was Shae's thing, and then we're back to the top of that was Thyra, and Shae reacted. And now it's Sindri's turn.
My flight speed is exactly the same speed as my running speed, so I'm just gonna double dash.
Okay. But the thing is that you don't have to worry about obstacles getting in your way and stuff like that if you're flying. Because you could technically, if it's
Let
And
me
you don't
double
leave
check how long
footprints.
I can actually fly.
You have flight? I thought you had to cast fly.
I do have to cast it. I'm just looking at how far I can. It's up to 10 minutes, so yeah. I'll cast fly on myself and then I'll follow suit.
Okay. So you're basically you're flying now right above of Shae. And then we're back to Thyra. The bottom line is after you see they're all flying, do you do anything?
Yeah, have Milo transform so we can just fly.
So you have Milo transform, and you jump on Milo, and all of you fly down the river and leave the giant stunned behind. And because it's a minute, that's a long period of time. By the time that you're gone, they come out of their stun, and they're looking at each other, and they're looking up and they're like, and you guys don't hear this or know this, but this is just for funsies, for some cinematic effect. They look at each other, and one says, "We drank too much last night, didn't we?" And the other one's like, "Yeah, we did, didn't we? Oh, I need to take a bath." Yes, you do. You stink. All right. Yes.
I will say, as we've started going and the group is kind of like together and flying, stay low, below the trees, because we are still during the day, and yeah, keep it low, fast.
Yeah, basically, Thyra would kind of like use the edge of the river to keep from like whacking into, you know,
Sure.
trees
Gotcha.
and stuff.
All right.
My thoughts, but not in the open, in the middle of the river.
Yeah,
Right.
but like on the
Yeah.
edge of the river. Yeah.
Yeah. You bottom line is
Until we
you
get to the
guys
bottom.
narrowly escape the fight with the frost and the fire giant, and you make your way back to the Compass Lake, and that's where we'll stop and give you guys plenty of time to ruminate and think. You know, you're doing great.
Whilst I'm so happy at that psychic glance not failing, I was so
Yeah.
pissed at such a low roll.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I cast the 6th level and I got that damage. Or like,
Oh, dude. Yeah, nothing felt worse than Lorcris like smiting on the big thing and rolling like threes, and you're like, you hear the squeak that.
I have to admit though, 26 on 96 is the worst odds I've ever seen.
It was fucking bad.
No one.
Wait, but an
2
incapacitated.
sticks, 2 2s, and the rest. Sorry, 2 1s and the rest 2s.
We had an entire
You need to fire those
round
6-sided
for
dice.
me to get hypnotic pattern off twice, because that's what would have happened. I would have 100% like, oh, first one didn't work. Guess what? Quicken spell again. Like, I need you to stop moving. We're running, guys.
Yeah.
We're running.
I imagine we get to the bottom and we're like, okay, open the door, Merrik.
Shae, you left the kettle on.
All right. Well, that's a perfect place to wrap, guys.
Yeah.
And well done in bypassing the second giant encounter. I'm impressed.
I'm not. I want to
were
kill
told-
giants.
Oh my!
I would love to kill giants.
I would love to kill giants, but I fear that it's in the spirit of like, don't get caught. Don't get caught.
I just
I
figured,
agree.
even if we were carrying on with that, psychic damage is kind of going hand in hand with being a fey creature.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say that was the
Oh.
most fey combat that I've seen us do ever. I think.
Oh yeah, totally. That was yeah. If they thought of anything like Trixie Faye.
And to be fair, I didn't know if they'd have good intelligence or not. I presumed not from something said earlier, but being frost and fire was like, I don't know.
Well, they're smarter than
I mean,
your
they're
average hill
smarter.
giant or stone giant, but yeah,
this is
they're still not.
The exact reason I've not read that monster manual in detail. I've just flipped through it
I
and looked at
appreciate that.
pictures. Because I don't want
yeah.
that knowledge.
I get it. Trust me, as a longtime DM, when I play, I have to really separate, like, or I
like
ask
what you know.
the DM, can I roll a knowledge on this? And then if I roll well enough, then I feel
Just
comfortable
use your knowledge. Yeah.
using my own knowledge. But
Well, the
I will
psychic
say-
I justified in my head first before I picked the spell.
right.
Yeah, I have seen a handful of like, easiest way to confuse another DM is, use the same relative stat block for the creature, but it's not the same creature. You just give it different stats, so you're like,
Oh, I've done that with you
It's a
guys
giant.
countless times.
oh yeah, it's perfect. But yeah, no, I
Druid, you had something to say?
I gambled on the hypnotic pattern. I was hoping that they wouldn't have a decent wisdom, but being that it's a fire and a frost, I'm like, they're definitely beefier. So
The fire giant did have a proficiency in wisdom. The problem is he has a 10 wisdom, so he's got no bonus to the proficiency roll. So, anywho, well done, guys, and appreciate
stuff.
you all. Druid,
Okay.
yep, you have a suggestion?
Oh, I was just gonna say, Razzmatazz is streaming The Walking Dead D&D.
Okay, that's a cool idea.
Yeah, Walking Dead, D&D, Wildfire is the title of the session. Friends and Enemies, Part 1.
Sounds like a plan. I love it. Guys, we're going to raid out now. Thank you all for hanging out. We'll be back again next Saturday. And we'll get to see what they figure out at Compass Lake. Raiding out to yon Razzmatazz.
Razzle those tassels.
Firing up that raid. And once again, thank you guys for playing, and I love this, and you guys are amazing, and well done in bypassing another encounter. Very cool. Have a wonderful evening, everybody.
Thanks, we hate it.
And love you all. We'll see you later. Bye. Don't forget, we'll see StarKitty on Monday.
Be there, be square.